though. Enter now at ESPNLA.com, and remember, you're always smiling at Beverly Hills Orthodontics.
I spent a lot of time in the garage, but even more time in the rain and mud. In '95, I helped tow your moving trailer. And in '09, it was sparks from me, your chains, dragging behind your truck that accidentally started a wildfire.
Spark a change, not a wildfire. Visit SmokeyBear.com, brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service, your state forester, and the Ad Council.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station.
Here we go. Travis Rogers, DeMarco Farr.
The far side. You ready for the far side? I'm in the far side.
You're in the far side.
Go. Welcome to the Travis and DeMarco Show. So let's get to the fun, shall we? The Travis and DeMarco Show right now.
Yeah! No DeMarco. DeMarco is preparing for tonight's action. Rams on the road, Thursday night football against the 49ers. AK, welcome. Good to see you again.
Good to see you too, man.
Yeah. We were just enjoying our 5 minutes of obligatory Simpsons conversations before we come on the air. We always like to chop that up a little bit.
I was inspired a little bit by Monday night, the recent Monday Night Football.
Yeah. It was really fun if you really like The Simpsons.
Yes.
That I don't know if the idea was to attract younger viewers. Okay, maybe I'm the wrong audience for that. But as a 50-year-old fan of The Simpsons for 30 years, I liked it.
For what it's worth, I mean, I'm obviously the wrong person to gauge how much it would appeal to a little kid or how much these other things they've done would appeal to a little kid, in terms of my own perspective. But I know.
Don't sell yourself short, Andy.
I'm a kid at heart.
Yes, indeed.
But I know that, for example, several years ago, my daughter, who has never particularly liked football at all, the first time she ever saw one of the Nickelodeon ones, she loved it.
Yeah.
Like, she was super into it and watched, I guess it was the Super Bowl?
I think they did do a Super Bowl version of it, and then they started adding regular season games.
They started in the playoffs.
Okay.
And then I think that they did do a Super Bowl when CBS hosted it.
She totally watched that game. Like, we ended up watching that version of it so she would stay occupied.
Yeah.
She really enjoyed it.
Excellent. Hey, look, anything that brings more people into the tent is a good thing. Roars to you, Em.
Roars.
Buenos dias.
Hey, buenos dias.
You're fully Ninered out today. You got the hat. You've got the jacket, the red jacket. I'm assuming there's a T-shirt under there too.
The training top, yeah.
But the universe obviously doesn't like it because it split your lip.
Oh man, I mean, this happened during when was this? It was last week.
When you were moving?
Oh, during the pink eye stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So I'm hanging something, and then boom, like I'm trying to hang a curtain.
Yeah.
Like a rod, and the metal hook, the middle hook.
Also, you and curtain rods, dude. Like, this has happened a lot.
You should stay out of the closet, and anything rod-related you should avoid.
And it just hits me in the mouth, and I'm like, oh.
You had that split in your lip yesterday?
I've had it since I was out.
I noticed it today, so I'm right on top of things as usual. That's my strong suit. The good news is when you cut your lip, it only takes about 6 months for it to heal. Yeah. Because you smile, you laugh, whatever it is, and eating a lot of oranges.
Yeah, that's for sure. And guavas.
He gave me like a gravel bomb this morning. He goes, here, because he has all these fruit trees at his place, and he brings me in. The lemons are great. The oranges are terrific. Limes. He brings in guavas today, and I take a bite of it. It's like eating marbles.
I love too, by the way, your immediate reaction, like your taste test.
Yeah,
this tastes a lot like a guava.
Yeah, and he said it is a guava, you moron. I'm like, well, then I was right. My taste buds are.
I love the way though you gave it this pause, like you were sommelier, like breaking down the notes.
I didn't know what it was. Like in my head, a guava is larger than the piece of fruit
he had told you what it was. He actually said it.
He had a cut on his face that I didn't notice for a week. You think I'm going to hear anything? I mean, I'm
like
barely...
you're like, I'm getting notes of guava.
Well, there's a lot of guava in that guava. Yeah. There's a very guava-y guava along the way. It is a Cosm Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Keep listening all day long for your cue to call. And when you hear it, you're going to want to be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN for your chance to win a pair of tickets to watch the NBA Cup Championship at Cosm Los Angeles. Experience the game like never before in shared reality. Limited tickets available through Cosm.com or the Cosm mobile incredible app. Have you been to Cosm yet, Andy?
I have not. I
Neither
really
have I.
want to go.
I
I've
do
heard
too.
it's phenomenal.
I was telling these guys, I was playing golf with a friend a couple of weekends ago, and the two guys that we were playing with, we didn't know. We just got paired up with them. They asked me, like, have you ever been not? They had no idea who I was. Like, there was no that we have a connection with Cosm here at the station was not why they were asking. They just were, hey, have you ever seen this thing at Cosm? They were super fired up about it. I can't wait to see it.
Yeah, I've heard it is truly like it's both awesome and unique. Like you've not done this before beyond just how incredible it is visually experienced or whatever. This is different.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it. I got football. Problem is like the Rams for every Sunday, so I need maybe a Sunday coming up here once the playoffs, if they don't get in or if they get eliminated, or maybe we'll just be busy until next season.
So,
I don't know.
I have a question for you guys. So I am not, as you guys can tell, probably the best judge of how old somebody is. You know, I can't really tell how old somebody is. So
whether they're old or not.
Right, exactly. So I've been watching this season of Survivor, and I'm not going to bore you guys with the details, but there is a woman who's on Survivor who is still on Survivor. It's the Final Four, and she is clearly not 45.
She's younger or older than that?
Older.
Okay.
I think she's in her 60s. And she's telling everybody on the island that she is 45. Do you think that... So, put yourself in the situation. Would you call her out and be like, either you're a rough 45 or like, okay, I trust you. Would you think she was lying to you? Or would you trust her? I got to show you guys this picture of her.
Does it matter in the gameplay of the show?
It really doesn't, because I guess she doesn't want to seem older because she doesn't want to feel like she's like weak. But like, you can tell she's competing.
Sure. But as these things get harder and it starts winnowing down more and you start having to break ties, you know, the idea of, well, we'll keep the 65-year-old around. Like, it's not as appealing. So it might be self-preservation that she's lying about her age, or she really has lived a rough life.
She also, okay, here's another thing that's been going on with her. So she probably has the most dirt on her face throughout the entire show that I've ever seen on anyone on Survivor.
Mask. She's trying to bring back that youthful vitality.
People are thinking that she's been contouring her face with dirt to make herself look better on camera. There's no mirrors, but like she looks like she's been contouring. So is she a budding
actress that refuses to acknowledge her age because she's worried she's going to get like pigeonholed by Hollywood? The good roles aren't going to come out?
Potentially, but
this is the woman that I'm looking at right now.
I'm sent you guys 3 pictures of what she looks like.
Look, here's the thing. She doesn't look 45. I agree with you, but she could be 45.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of beat up 45-year-olds that look like this. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
This is just a really rough ride for her over 45 years.
Yes.
And because she's done some stuff, I'm guessing.
Yeah.
That she's had some work here and there.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. This is what makes it difficult to age. Because it's very clear she's had work.
Yes.
She could be anywhere from 30 to 70.
Yes. Yes. like when you were describing it, I'm like, yeah, okay, maybe this woman could...
You could see 45?
Easily.
Okay, interesting.
Easily.
Because I would have
She
clocked
could also
it.
be 65.
And she has said that she is fibbing on her age a little bit, so she is not that age. She is revealed to, but also it's on an island with a bunch of like 20-year-olds. So they also might not know the difference necessarily.
Look, I live in South Orange County. I've seen a lot of whack plastic surgery, okay? And this feels
and the thing is
adjacent
now,
to that.
everybody gets the same plastic surgery with the fillers and the certain lip thing.
It always migrates.
Right. And it makes it difficult to tell how, like, ironically now, because everybody gets this, when you get it, I actually think it makes you look older rather than younger, because it's become the tell for I got work
You know
done.
what it is, Andy? Is that not everybody has the naturally youthful glow that you and I share.
Right.
Exactly. We just, we're going to look 25 no matter how old we get.
She is 58. So here she was the oldest woman to win an individual immunity challenge, which is like the individual
So she's officially 58?
She's officially 58
sure.
from Survivor Wiki, and she's a flight school owner, and she's a pilot.
Yeah.
So
see, now here's where it can spin around. For 58, she doesn't look bad at all.
like you said, there was a range that anywhere could have led, and 58 feels like the best answer. You know what I mean? Like if you said she's actually 42, like, oh my gosh. If you said she's 70, you'd be like, yeah, that's a weird looking 70-year-old. But 50, what did you say? 52?
58.
58? Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, she looks pretty good for 50. I mean, she looks like someone who's had a lot of work done at 58, but she looks good for 58.
And she's making a case for herself. She's got a chance to win this game. So anyway, for those who like Survivor, this season is really good.
Other than to procure item when you're ineligible to purchase such item at a younger age, have you ever lied about your age?
No,
I haven't
now
either.
that I think about it, no.
I mean, when you're, let's say, I don't know, a couple of days shy of your 21st birthday and you'd like to get a little beer, maybe you've told a tale or two in that regard, but I've never tried to go younger.
I mean, I'll say this, if I was to ever really heavily go out on the job market, I might lie about my age.
You like Creed in The Office and put the toner in your hair?
Yes.
And how about these young kids nowadays?
How do you do, fellow kids?
Yeah, exactly.
That was Steve Buscemi in 30 Rock. Great.
Steve Buscemi's character in 30 Rock is terrific. It's terrific.
And it's also funny because it was the same time he was like either being nominated or winning Emmys for Boardwalk Empire. So he was like doing big stuff, and then he was doing this random stuff on 30 Rock.
He's one of those guys, and I'm sure somebody could have an example where, no, Trav, here's one that I don't know if I've ever seen him in anything. I'm like, that guy's not very good in that. Like, he's good at almost everything that he shows up in. All the projects aren't great, but when he's in it, like, that character is the best thing in the scene.
He's always great. I mean, he's like a version of John Goodman, where John Goodman, just by showing up, will make anything 15% better.
Philip Seymour Hoffman, too.
Yeah.
He always picked pretty good stuff.
He did. He was a little artsy for my taste, but
Along Came Polly's artsy?
No, but yeah, that's a good example. You're right about that. I don't know. Maybe it's just a personal.
He was in Boogie Nights too, right?
He was great in Boogie Nights.
Because he did a lot of work at PTA.
He was Scotty.
Scotty J.
Scotty, what are you doing? I can't say the line, but that was pretty great.
Also, by the way, we see Mike Tomlin right now on Pat McAfee's show. I am still 100% all in on this AFC Hard Knocks because watching him interact with anybody, do anything, is just like, you just get it. You get why he is such a good coach. You get why people want to be around him because he just seems to know how to coach individual guys to be better.
By the way, Mike Tomlin with a hat, 35. Mike Tomlin without a hat, 55.
It's like Sue.
Yeah. That's a different look. All right, speaking of coaches, let's talk about Bill Belichick, Andy. It's very rare where I see something and I don't know if I really like it, really dislike it, but I can't wait to see how it all unfolds. And Bill Belichick at a middle-of-the-road college football program is fascinating to me. That's coming up next. It's Trav and DeMarco. Andy's in for DeMarco on 710 ESPN.
Test rules. Go to ESPNLA.com and click the contest button.
Hey everyone, this is Ramona Shelburne. Did you know that Children's Hospital Los Angeles isn't just a local favorite? They're ranked one of the best pediatric hospitals in the country by U.S. News and World Report. With nearly 15,000 surgeries a year, they handle more complex procedures than any other hospital in Southern California. That's major league expertise right in our backyard. When it comes to your child's health, CHLA is playing in a league of their own.
Gear up and get out to Kelsey's at Pachanga, the top spot in the Temecula Valley to watch all the Monday Night Football action. Dozens of TVs means all your favorite games, plus a M&F food menu fit for the greatest fans. Sliders, loaded tater tots, pulled pork pizza, and a lot more. Plus, you'll find beers on tap and incredible craft cocktails at Kelsey's. Visit Pachanga.com and follow at Pachanga Casino on Instagram for info about special and exclusive NFL team appearances. We'll see you at Kelsey's at Pachanga.
Next Gen is the official plumbing, heating, and AC company of SoCal sports fans. For just $88, you'll get a detailed multi-point inspection and performance evaluation for your heating and cooling system, plus professional repair recommendations to keep your home safe and comfortable. Call 833-3-NEXGEN today to schedule your $88 heating and cooling system diagnostic. That's 833-3-NEXTGEN or visit nextgenairanplumbing.com to book your appointment today.
NEXGEN, call 833-3-NEXTGEN. Don't you love the sounds of the holiday season? The bells, the sleighs. Woohoo! If so, your holiday's now even more magical because now during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event, you can take home your favorite Hyundai with some of the season's greatest savings.
Drive away now in one of our most popular models with 0% APR and 0 payments for 90 days. Only during the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Offer ends January 2nd. Call 562-314-4603 for details.
Have you heard or seen ads for settling your credit card debt over a period of 3 or 4 years? What they don't tell you is that they will implode your credit rating by entering a debt relief program. At Cash Call, we have a different way of helping you out from under crushing credit card debt. If you own your own home, Cash Call could make you a loan to pay off that debt, which should help your credit rating and get your monthly payments down. We've helped folks pay off $80,000 in credit card debt in one shot. Even if you've had credit derogs, such as recent mortgage lates, we may still be able to approve you so you can improve your credit score instead of trashing it. So if you're a homeowner and want to turn your credit profile around and cut your monthly interest expense, go to cashcall.com or call 833-875-CASH. Our loan technicians are ready to help you right now. Minimum loan amount of $6,000, subject to credit approval. Not all applicants will qualify. Loans made pursuant to the California Department of Financial Protection and Innovation. Call 833-875-CASH or go to cashcall.com.
Get ready, LA. The Art of Sport LA Bowl, hosted by Gronk, is back at SoFi Stadium on December 18th at 6 p.m. Be there as the Mountain West top team goes head-to-head with the former Pac-12 contender in a showdown you won't want to miss. Tickets and premium suites are on sale now. Don't miss out on your chance to be a part of the action. Visit LABowlGame.com to secure your seats today. That's LABowlGame.com.
You never expect a Hail Mary pass to win and end the game or getting into an accident. Hey, it's Travis with DeMarco and Evan Cohen.
Only one all-star defensive team you can call to defend you. The personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000.
Don't get sacked by others. Joseph will help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000.
Let Joseph and his team score a touchdown for you.
Some people just know they could save hundreds on car insurance by checking Allstate first. Like, to check that your seats aren't in the visitor section first, before buying tickets.
I'm so excited for this game. I can't believe you got us tickets.
Me too. Wait, are we on the wrong side?
Yeah, checking first is smart. So check Allstate first for a quote that could save you hundreds.
This is going to be a long game.
You're in good hands with Allstate.
Savings vary, subject to terms, conditions, and availability. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, Northbrook, Illinois.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
This is the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Now weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
You're laughing like I wouldn't be a good play caller. I don't want to say anything, but let's say you get asked to go to a sporting event that you're not dying to attend, and you're just like, yeah, I'll go, but whatever. But you need to be incentivized. And I said to you, well, if you let me call a few plays, I would go. And then your response was?
I think you would all of a sudden freeze up at the idea of, okay, the entire huddle's looking at me. I have to call plays.
I got 4 plays. I got a reverse, I got a flea flicker, I have a Statue of Liberty, and I have a quarterback sneak. That's it.
You don't even know the terminology for just handoff.
Right, we're not running that. I know what I need to know. We just ran that last. Yeah, run it again. Do it again. Do it again.
Until they can stop it. They stopped us on the first play.
Well, I think they got lucky.
What about just a bomb? Can you just throw a bomm?
Sure. We'll add a 5th play.
Hail Mary?
Bomb left, bomb right. There's 2 more plays. Right? Who's my fastest guy?
For this particular game, still not worth it.
No, probably not. Probably not. All right, so Bill Belichick is the new head football coach at the University of North Carolina. What do you think? I wish I had a sharper take than, wow, that's weird. But wow, that's weird. Bill Belichick, the second winningest coach in the history of the league, who, by the way, is only 15 wins away from catching Don Shula. won 6 Super Bowls as a head coach, won 2 Super Bowls as a defensive coordinator for the New York Giants, widely considered, if not the best coach ever, on the very short list of best coaches ever, is been out of the NFL for 1 year and is going to go coach a college team that's not Notre Dame or Texas or Ohio State, but rather the University of North Carolina, which is most famous for being a basketball school.
Wow.
That's weird.
Well, I mean, Belichick has been spending a lot of time lately around college kids. So, I mean, they're maybe.
Well, yeah, he is hip. He is young. He is trending in that direction.
He's enjoyed his time around the youth.
And Chapel Hill is a lovely place to live.
I've been to Chapel Hill. It's very nice. It's a beautiful campus. All of those things. Bill Belichick coaching North Carolina, that's just bizarre to me.
Well, I mean, it speaks to a few things. First of all, the idea that hiring Bill Belichick for your NFL program, because you were talking about before, he's 15 away from the all-time wins. First of all, I think it speaks to nobody even knows that record.
Yeah, maybe.
Like, as far
he
as,
knows it, though.
He knows it, but as far, I mean, the whole point of getting these achievements is so everybody knows. For people in that space, you want people to know. You know, most wins for NFL coach is not one of the more vaunted records out there, but also too, like how specific a fit it needs to be to hire Bill Belichick. Like, you're not going to hire him for a rebuilding program. Like, he's in his 70s.
But isn't that what he's doing at Carolina?
Well, I think at Carolina, he's being allowed to do whatever he wants. It might just be a new challenge for him, something different, something where he feels like he can have more direct control. Because, like, in the NFL, for example, you're not going to bring him in for a rebuilding program. Like, that doesn't really make sense for Bill Belichick. So it needs to be a team that feels like it's on the cusp of winning something.
Mm-hmm.
Most of those teams have a pretty good coach that even for Bill Belichick, you're not going to blow out your coach just to bring in Bill Belichick for no particular reason.
I keep coming back to this. He didn't get a job last year. There were a lot of openings last year. And I hear what you're saying, that he's not a perfect fit at every opening. That it's more specific than that. But it's Bill Belichick. Okay, this is a guy that Bill Belichick knows NFL football as well as anybody ever has. He knows what he's doing. Okay, he's qualified beyond qualified. He only got one look. Like, there were 8 openings, so he can't get his own job. So there are 7 potential spots. Only one team seriously considered him. It was the Atlanta Falcons, and they decided that Raheem Morris was going to be their guy. Which, okay, fine. That no one else looked, that this cycle was getting to go through again, and to your point, that maybe there wasn't but the Raiders kind of make a little bit of sense. The Cowboys make a lot of sense except for the Jerry Jones component. Jacksonville makes a little bit of sense. The Giants make a lot of sense. There were some things that kind of track, this is why I'm so intrigued by this. Did he see what was coming and realize, I'm not going to get another chance here?
Well, I think some of this, when you mention the Cowboys and Jerry Jones, the control aspect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you're hiring Bill Belichick, you're hiring him with the idea of, we are going to be ceding all control over to this guy.
Yep.
And if I were running an organization, unless you feel like you are this close to winning a Super Bowl and you'll just deal with the now, and the later, if I'm going to hire in that guy that I'm giving so much control to, I want it to be for a big picture thing.
Yeah.
And Bill Belichick's in his early 70s.
But so, he's not doing the Carolina thing he signed up for 5 years there. You could turn it around in 5 years in the NFL.
But he's getting complete control, one presumes, with North Carolina.
Sure.
He's 45.
He's just had bad work.
He just puts dirt on his face to contour
He's contouring his cheeks. Yeah.
I mean, look, the truth is, there's no way to think about this other than odd. Like,
it's exceedingly odd. Seth Wickersham wrote something on ESPN.com this morning that I thought was really good, really interesting. And basically his takeaway is that Belichick is doing this as a middle finger to the NFL. Like, no, your league is not what I like anymore. I want to go over here. I want to build something that will allow me to kind of do it in my own image. And obviously his son. But Bill Belichick is a pro football. He's been in the league for 50 years.
Well, I'll take it a step further. Can you give a middle finger to a group of people that don't care that you're flicking them off?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Mean, like, oh, I'm going to take this job to show you. They're like, bro, we don't want to hire you.
Yeah, cool. And have good luck.
Like,
yeah.
Oh, wow, you really showed us taking on North Carolina.
And it's North Carolina. I know his dad was an assistant coach there. Okay, whatever. But if Bill Belichick were, hey, you know what? Notre Dame hired Bill Belichick. Great. I get it. If Navy hired Bill Belichick, I get it. But North Carolina is like the perfect representation of, they're not a blue blood. They're not a weird one-off like the Naval Academy would be, where he has a fascination with that. It's a middle of the pack, decent but not great, rarely crappy college football program. They're just kind of there.
The only way it feels like a potential middle finger would be if Belichick feels like the reason I'm not getting a job is because the entire league thinks I was carried by Brady.
Yeah.
That, like, at the end of the day, this was all Brady, not me, because Brady ended up winning that Super Bowl with Tampa.
Sure.
So this is my way of proving my legitimacy as a coach. I'm going to resurrect North Carolina, and then I'm going to prove that this really was as much about me as it was about Brady. Because otherwise, if nobody wants him, the idea of, okay, great, go do a good job with North Carolina.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Yeah.
We don't want to hire you.
I don't know if it like checks the, does anybody really think that Bill Belichick was being carried by anybody? Like, I understand it was a collaboration, that they have equal parts, and maybe it was 55-45, 1-1. But I don't think anybody thinks that Bill Belichick was Barry Switzer, just kind of along for the ride to go win 6 Super Bowls along the way.
I agree with you, but I also think this has, and we mentioned at the beginning of this conversation, I think the biggest thing about this is control. The college football is the place where you can control every single step of the way, like he used to at the Patriots. He could control every single step of the way. He was the GM, he was the coach, which is rare in the NFL, which you basically are in college football. He did hire a GM for his college football program, but
the control, and I agree with you, Em, but the control isn't college football like we've been knowing it for the last 100 years. In the last 4 or 5, the control, or at least a decent percentage of it, has gone to the players, where they're free agents every year. And, he was, Bill Belichick is the type of personality that was difficult to wrap your arms around as a player. Some of his players really loved him. Some of them were like, yeah, it's a really totally different play. To get an 18-year-old, or to convince this 20-year-old to come over from this program to that program, to have a guy kind of scowl at you and see, well, we'll figure out whether or not you can play. Like that, you're going to have to be a little bit of a salesperson. I am a omnipresent God who gets whatever he wants. I don't need that. I need a little collaboration now.
I think that it can't be undersold how it could be a great networking opportunity for a guy that's on the fence to get to the NFL. Like, if Bill Belichick calls up the GM from the Seahawks about his kid who might not be seen, say, hey, my guy from the Seahawks is really great. Trust me, I'm Bill Belichick. And then they get drafted.
Except if he had that level of respect, he might not have to take this job in the first place.
Yeah. I think that's because the teams that will be picking coaches are poorly run franchises that could be influenced by someone like Robert Kraft telling them what to do. If it's him calling Sean McVay would listen.
Yeah.
Or less need.
But there were fits in the NFL. The New York Giants are a really good fit. He had success there. He apparently gets along with the ownership, the Rooneys and the Maras. Like, this is a fit, and that he's going there. And I don't know if it will work or not. If he went 10-1 or how would they play 10-2 or whatever, I wouldn't be shocked. If they went 4-8, I wouldn't be shocked, because that's a very specific guy you're agreeing to play for.
Or he's seeing what Dion could do in 2 years, supercharge a program.
But Dion is all about the college guy. Like a college football or a high school football player or a college football player looking at, they see Coach Prime and he's walking, he's Dion Blanken Sanders, and it's the energy and it's the enthusiasm and it's the buzz. Bill Belichick is the anti of all
Or maybe
of that.
get some guys like that. I'm sure there are other types of personalities that would be attracted to a Bill Belichick coach.
Yeah. I mean, look, it could be as simple as, dude wants to coach. He's gotten restless. He cannot settle down in his 70s and just enjoy the twilight of his life in a way that doesn't involve football. Couldn't get a job in the NFL. This is where he got his opportunity. It's that simple.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing more to read into other than has to coach. Like, feels like I have to be coaching a football team, this is my offer.
It is his life, right? I don't. Clearly, there's no golf and sailing and like Bill Parcells when he went. Like Bill Parcells famously loved going to the track, right? He just loved watching the horses train. Like Bill Parcells was a horse racing fanatic. So there was have you ever heard about any of Bill Belichick? I know he's got the boat, but it's like Bill Belichick lives in the college campus.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. It just strikes me as so. I can't wait to see how it plays out. And I under no circumstances he signed a 5-year deal, right? Is Bill Belichick the coach at North Carolina in 2030?
But that
no
also,
how,
though,
no way, no
But
chance.
I also think, though, that speaks to why at least some franchises would be reticent to bring him in because he feels like a stopgap.
Yeah.
And, I mean...
He feels like 3 to 4 years max.
Right. Max. Like, look, for example, it's not apples to apples in terms of why all this happens, but just look at the Lakers and what happens to them when you keep going through stopgap after stopgap after stopgap. Again, the reasons aren't exactly the same, but you want, if you can, to find your forever coach.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like the NFL cycles through coaches with less frequency than the NBA. Like the NBA, in a lot of ways, you are hired to get fired.
It matters so much more in football.
Right. And if you can hang on to your coach for a while, you do it. Sometimes even inexplicably, like, Mike McCarthy still with that, like how long, Jerry Jones is his own thing.
Sure.
But there are guys who stick around for a long time. When you hire Bill Belichick, it has to feel like the exact perfect fit because as you said, 5 years would feel like a miracle with him.
Yeah. I just look forward to Pete Carroll being the coach at Utah State. I think that's going to be very exciting. That apparently this is the trend that we have.
But here's the difference, though. Pete, you're joking, and I get it. Pete Carroll has a lot of interests.
Of course, and Pete Carroll's a college football coach and a wildly successful one. Like Bill Belichick is the quintessential professional football coach, and I know he wants to build a program on a campus in the professional model. I get that. But as pro as college football has gone, the players are still young men who I don't know will embrace a 73-year-old scowling grump. That's a weird guy to come in and close
you know what,
the show.
man? Maybe being around the youths energize him. The Utes.
Did you say Ute?
Maybe he enjoys it.
It is a Cosm Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Call in right now. And if you're caller number 7, you will win, or you'll get a chance, I should say, for a pair of tickets to watch the NBA Cup Championship at Cosm Los Angeles. Experience the game like never before in shared reality. Limited tickets available through Cosm.com or the Cosm mobile app. Give us a call right now, 877-710-ESPN. Caller number 7. USC's next year's schedule is out. Lincoln Riley, you caught a break, my friend. That's coming up next. Trav, and he's in for DeMarco on 710 ESPN.
ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok, and Twitch.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
You know that old saying, you can have it fast or you can have it good? When it comes to hiring, ZipRecruiter has put that saying to bed. Because with ZipRecruiter, when you need to hire someone fast, you get them fast and you get the best person for your job. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology immediately starts showing your job to the right candidates. Get in the end zone with ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. Try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. At Los Angeles International Airport, changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. The LAX economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding, and in the future, the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. For more information, go to their website, flylax.com/transforminglax. That's flylax.com/transforminglax.
I love opening gifts for myself because, I really get me. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
Gift a Day giveaway. 15 days, 15 gifts. Earn 500 points on your rewards card and get that day's great gift. Now till the 20th.
Number 2.
The Hilarious, Just Hilarious. Live January 11th.
And the number 1 reason.
It's the holidays. It's Morongo. It's good times.
Morongo, good times.
Hey, it's Mace. It's that time of year. Shopping is hard. Finding the right gift can be impossible, and waiting until the last minute is a nightmare. The last minute stuff can be a mess. I've got the answer. I'm going to save you all the guesswork. The answer is flowers from the Books Company, and I've got 25% off your entire Books purchase so you can send some too. Here's why the Books Company is so good. Their flowers are cut fresh, sourced directly from the best flower farms, so they last way longer. It was easy. I picked up bouquet, set my delivery date. It was done. No wrapping required. Books is perfect for the people who have everything. Get a festive bouquet for mom, a mini tree for your grandma, and you can go big with a flower subscription for your wife or girlfriend. It's basically happiness on repeat. And right now, you save 25% with promo code ESPN. Go to Books.com. Use promo code ESPN. That's BOUQS.com. Promo code ESPN. Books. Promo code ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Timeout. Your body goals don't have an off season. GNC is ready to help you get a stronger start on the new year with help building more muscle and proven weight loss support. Need a boost? We're ready with GNC vitamins for your longest winter days. Want the best energy drinks? They're at GNC. Never tried creatine before? Get ready to be amazed. GNC coaches are ready to help you in stores everywhere, and you can shop our full collection of flavors and online exclusives at GNC.com. GNC, live well.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
This is the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Now weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Yeah, I was just telling Andy that last week at SoFi Stadium, watching the Bills and the Rams, and I hope this doesn't come off super bad guy-y because I don't mean it like that at all. But Andy, you've covered the Lakers for how long?
Going on about 20 years.
20 years. Okay, this is my 9th season with the Rams and done the Angels and done the Lakers. And we get to go to a lot of games is the point. And I don't mean that in any way other than we're very fortunate to do it. But you do kind of get a little bit numb to the awesome ability of a lot of these players, right? You just like every person in the NBA or the NFL is amazing, but you're just kind of like, oh, that place sucked.
There was a period where Kobe scored so many like 40-point games in a row that you would grow numb to. Like I remember I was at 81. I was at that game.
Oh, that's awesome.
At halftime, Kobe had something like, I think like 25 or 26.
Okay.
Which, by any normal standard, that's a
pretty
lot
good
to
half.
have in a half.
Yeah.
Going into halftime, there was no thought for me about like, oh, wow, I wonder what Kobe's going to finish. It was the Lakers are going to lose to this Raptors team. The Lakers are trying to maintain their playoff positioning, and they are going to lose to this awful Raptors team. And then I remember like at some point in the third quarter, like being like, oh, my God, Kobe has this many? Like he's sitting on like 45 or something in the third. I'm like, oh, my God. Because you just grow used to it.
Yeah,
like,
that's it.
It's not that you don't even appreciate it, but it doesn't feel unusual.
That's it. It doesn't feel unusual. Sunday I almost said the Coliseum. Sunday at SoFi, Josh Allen was one of those things that snapped you out of it. It's like, what am I looking at here?
For me, it was Puka.
Yeah,
I mean,
But I've seen wide receivers have good days. I've seen that a lot. And Puka had a good game, but that did not feel extraordinary to me. It just felt like Josh Allen scored 6 touchdowns, and there was no answer for him. He was just crushing people.
Yeah, we were talking in between the break, like comp for Josh Allen, like the idea of that much variety and versatility for a quarterback at that size
and
speed. We sort of landed on Cam Newton.
Yeah, for the time that he was at his peak.
Except I think Allen was a more accurate passer.
He was a better quarterback.
Right. Like Newton was an incredible athlete, and he was a
he was a good quarterback.
He was a
but
very
Allen
good quarterback.
is an A+ quarterback. Newton A-. I mean, we're splitting hairs a little bit, but
that's what you have to do when you start trying to really come up with these comps. You do end up splitting hairs.
Yeah.
Like the next closest one that just popped to mind to me was Donovan McNabb, except
I don't think he was big like that.
Yeah, McNabb was big maybe for his time, but not nearly like big.
No, Allen's 6'5". I think Cam Newton's 6'6". They're just crazy. And obviously the Rams don't have to deal with something like that tonight. We'll talk about that coming up in just a little bit. I want to talk about SC. The Big Ten schedule for next year came out.
McNabb was 6'2", 240.
McNabb was? Yeah, that's big.
Wow. So I was right.
Yeah, but Allen's 6'5".
I know.
That's what's
crazy.
crazy how much bigger these guys are. And Donovan was a little extra in the weight department, I think, perhaps. Whereas Allen and Newton were not. They were just naturally enormous.
Was pretty damn good.
He was very good. He was very good. Here's your schedule in the Big Ten next year for USC. More importantly, here's who's not on your schedule next year at USC. Ohio State is not on your schedule. Penn State is not on your schedule. Michigan is, but you get them at the Coliseum. Your toughest game is at Oregon, which will be a challenge. Oregon might be the defending national champion, and they're going to reload because they're one of those programs that just keeps cranking along. You play at Purdue, not good. Michigan State at home, who had not had a good year. Illinois is okay. Michigan, you got your Notre Dame game. You have it every year. At Nebraska, then you get Northwestern, Iowa, and UCLA all at home. If Lincoln Riley can't fix his fading star with this schedule, sayonara. This feels to me that will be a bridge too far. Caleb Williams had a great year. Next year, Caleb Williams got hurt. Hey, we're okay. Not great. We're going to bounce back. This year was hey, what? Do we stink? No, maybe not. We're just there was a way to kind of say, give me a second. Not with this. This you are. They play A&M here in a couple of weeks. He's on the clock before the first season's even over based on the schedule for next year.
Well, I can tell you right now, having gone to USC and knowing that football culture well, the alum, they want SC to win simply because they don't want the loss. They don't want the embarrassment of a loss, but they do not care. There will be no pride taken in winning that bowl.
Is Vegas,
Yeah, the Vegas Bowl. That is going to be considered
the SRS Distribution Vegas Bowl.
Yes, that one. That one. Thank you, Emily.
Like there's going to be no pride taken. That's not going to feel like we ended on a strong note. Like no. The fact that you were in that bowl shows that there are no strong notes to be had.
Right.
I think next year, if it feels like you are not taking dramatic steps forward, or even worse, it feels like you're stuck in neutral or maybe even continuing to move a little backwards, it's going to start looking like Lincoln Riley unless you give him the perfect quarterback, like a number one overall caliber draft quarterback, because that's been his biggest pattern of success.
Mayfield, Hurts,
Williams, Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Murray, that's what I was forgetting.
Like, unless you give him that caliber of quarterback, the offense will not succeed at the level that he wants, and he clearly does not prioritize defense at the level that would offset the offense.
Let me ask you this. The idea that, the schedule is manageable. SC's schedule this year was challenging. It was a tough schedule. This is less challenging. It felt like there was some momentum after losses to Rutgers and Maryland and things like that. I was like, hey, man, this may end badly. And the cost was so astronomical to buy him out, to get him out. It's not going to happen. They're going to run it back for economic reasons, if nothing else. It would come down, but it wouldn't come down by a million miles.
It's still a lot of money.
It's still a lot of money. If they were just ready to move on because of but the economics prevented them from doing it, wouldn't the same thing be true? Like, if you're just going to bite the bullet.
I think the royal we, assume way too often that the rich alum will just cover the tab. Like, they'll just pick it up. Like, it's that important to them that they will collectively spend 7 to 8 figures to get rid of this guy. They can complain for free. You know what I mean?
Well, this kind of comes back to what I'm saying. I think that there's a sweet spot in between those two things. Like, just get him out. I don't care what it costs. Next. And man, that's a lot of money. Let's just bitch and whine about this for a little while. But the care factor, not only do I not want the embarrassment of it, but I actually, as a Trojan person, want our football team to be competitive at the highest levels. Ohio State would buy a guy out. Ohio State might fire Ryan Day because he loses one game a year, right? That places like Kalen DeBoer is on the clock after 1 year, and it wasn't a great year by Alabama standards, but it wasn't a catastrophe. USC is willing to kick the can down the road. I think their want in their mind is one thing, but in the practice is a very different thing.
First of all, I want to see Ryan Day get fired before we assume that the powers that be, whether within the institution or outside, are automatically going to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, everybody assumes it, but it hasn't happened yet. I also think, too, though, the way everything works now with the transfer portal, I think it makes it harder if let's say you're one of these rich alums and you're like, this matters to me so much, I would be willing to pick up part of the tab for that buyout. It's harder to be confident about it because you don't know what you're buying into.
Yeah.
Like, in a couple years, what you think you are buying may completely change. And I don't care how much money you have, you cannot control these players from coming and going.
What's a great example of be careful who you think is the hot new guy, because you don't know if he's the hot new guy. A great example of that? Lincoln Riley.
Yes.
That Lincoln Riley, when they hired him, it's like, that's a coup. That's an incredible success.
Yeah, absolutely. And look, I will be the first to admit, I don't follow the college game well enough to truly know the ins and outs of who I think is a very good coach. But it is possible that, for those who might pay more attention, they could have recognized, like, hey, USC was so excited that they could even get this guy.
Yeah.
Because remember the period where USC was when they hired Lincoln Riley? Like, they were really, really down.
Yep.
The idea that Lincoln Riley would even go to them took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah.
You may have been so surprised that you didn't even want to look under the hood that much.
And then you look at a place like Oregon, who gets Dan Lanning off of an SEC staff, off of a Kirby Smart staff, which is basically a Nick Saban staff, and that's one of those. Okay, not the sexiest name because he was a coordinator, but clearly they landed on the right guy.
It becomes much easier to get starstruck by the sexy name and seduced by it.
Andy, you like the draft, right?
I do like the draft.
We're going to draft next. We're going to do our snake draft left, holiday related, and, because we're us, places you'd really rather not be. That's coming up next. It's Trav and Andy on 710 ESPN. Here's where you should be. Getting out your phone, going to your app store, Google Play, and putting the Prize Picks app on your phone, because Prize Picks takes what's awesome, like, I don't know, football game tonight, Rams and Niners, and makes it even more fun because you can win some money. All you got to do is pick more or pick less. And during Pickmas, they're giving you 2 freebies, and you can win up to 200 times your money. But you can't win anything if you don't play. So put the app on your phone. Put the Prize Picks app on your phone. And when you're signing up, make sure that you use the code 710. Because when you use the code 710 and you play your first $5 lineup, they're going to give you $50. Win or lose on that first $5 lineup, you get $50 to play more Prize Picks. So put it on your phone. Use the code 710. Open it up. Take a look at those projections. Pick more, pick less. It is that easy with Prize Picks.
right now for your complimentary bottle of Nugenix Total T. It's the #1 selling testosterone-boosting brand at GNC and Walmart. Do it now, and they'll also send you a bottle of Nugenix Thermo X, their newest, most powerful fat burner ever, absolutely free. Text SPARK to 42424. That's SPARK to 42424. These statements have not been evaluated by the FDA. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
And yes, welcome to the Travis and DeMarco Show. Now mornings, 9 a.m. to noon on 710 ESPN. Your destination for LA sports. Let's get back to the fellas. The Travis and DeMarco Show continues right now.
It's a snake draft.
All right, and it is a snake draft around Christmas time. It might be my last snake draft before I go on vacation. Unless we do it tomorrow, because Andy's here tomorrow and we love the draft.
You're going to double draft, Andy?
I would be down for a double draft.
All right, but we're going to draft places, the worst place to be on Christmas Eve. Okay? Christmas Eve is a lovely time. It is time to spend with family, be really close to them, but there's also a lot of places you don't want to be. We're going to go Travis, Jorge, Andy, Emily. 3 picks each, 12 total, because that's all you can fit on the graphic, right, Graham?
See.
Thanks, Graham. All right, Trav, you're up first.
By the way, I read something about Louise Hill yesterday. I couldn't stop laughing. That's another topic altogether. Guys, I would need to be very clear that this is a Travis pick. I am not judging anybody else. This is specific to Travis Rogers.
Will you be smited?
Perhaps I might be smoten. Church.
That was on my list.
It's not
also
for me,
on my
guys.
list.
Not for me, guys. If you love it, I'm glad. If you get peace and harmony and love and joy, I'm thrilled for you. For me personally, that's not the emotions I experience when I attend a service.
Mm-hmm.
So it's long.
Yep.
There's a lot going on, and it's usually late.
Mm-hmm.
And no thank you.
What about midnight mass, guys? Anybody love that midnight mass
Hard
on
pass.
Christmas Eve?
Yeah.
So, mom and dad, if
do
you're
that
listening,
often at the temple I attended growing up.
Mom and dad, if you're listening, specifically dad, this is about your church. Why did they get rid of the candles? Okay, so we used to have,
I did like that.
At one
That
point in
was
time
pretty.
in the service, you each get a candle, and the flame.
And you light the person next to you,
yes,
right?
the flame goes throughout the entire church.
Very
It's a
pretty.
beautiful moment,
It's
and
pretty.
also there's a little bit of danger because you got
I was going to say safety issues,
transfer
liability,
the
lawsuits.
fire.
The second I was allowed to make my decision whether to attend or not on my own, I have not been since. But as a kid, when I was forced to go,
yes,
I would try very hard to drip that wax on my brother.
Exactly. And that last year was the first year they introduced fake little lights.
Yeah, lame.
Hey, the Lutheran church my dad goes to, no thank you. All right, Jorge, your pick.
So speaking about candles, we used to go to posadas. Posadas is just like a pilgrimage. You go from point A to point B, whatever, and then you're singing these songs, whatever. You used to have these little candles, and the wax would fall in your hand, and you'd be like, oh,
yeah.
it would hurt. Just because it takes my family forever to get ready and leave, I would say traffic.
Oh, yeah.
You expect to be at a certain place by a certain time.
Let's just say the roads.
The roads, yeah. Traffic is like the worst because now I'm trying to rush them.
And you
They're
want to
calling
enjoy
us,
yourself.
Yes. And then they're calling us. Where are you? How late are you guys going to be? I'm going to say traffic.
Good
For the roads.
selection.
All right, Andy.
This is, I think a lot of people know I'm pretty into music. I've got a pretty wide taste in music, but this is one genre that I've never particularly gotten into, and I feel like on Christmas Eve it would get really out of control. Christian rock concert.
Holy night.
Christian rock concert on Christmas Eve sounds like, quite frankly, hell to me.
You're telling me you don't want to listen to Creed?
Yeah.
Is Creed even Christian?
No, I don't think they are.
What about the Killers? They're Mormon.
I think you're right about Creed. I think you're right.
There's a lot of sneaky Christian
Creed?
bands in
Yeah,
early 2000s.
I think she's right. I feel like I've heard that
Can
before.
I Take You Higher was about something else?
Jesus.
Oh.
I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Weren't they subtle?
Yeah. Mercy Me is another one. Anyway.
Yeah, well, explains why I don't like them.
All right, I got two.
I didn't even realize why they suck.
I got two. This one's going to be hyper specific about an area of the specific city. So you said the roads, Jorge. I want to say this place because I absolutely hate this place, and I had to go to this place occasionally.
I know what she's gonna say.
I'm going to say the Century City parking garage.
Yeah.
I do not want to be in the Century City at all. But Century City Mall parking garage is my version of hell. So no thank you on that parking garage. Second one, I'm going to have to say I do not want to be at work.
Oh,
Just
good
any
one.
of my place of employment. I would not like to be at work on Christmas Eve. So those are my two. Andy?
That's good.
Under normal circumstances, I really enjoy this place, but I feel like being in attendance here on Christmas Eve would only make me feel worse about myself, and I can do that on my own. I don't need external help with this. A casino.
Oh, that's
casino
terrific.
on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
Nothing will lower your self-esteem. I mean, under normal circumstances, sitting at a Hold'em table, I love it. Like, that's my idea of paradise. Sitting at a Hold'em table, but playing Hold'em on Christmas
I
Eve.
just got depressed with the visual in my brain.
Yeah.
Like, that is that
Plus, guarantee,
terrific.
I'll start smoking again.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
That's great.
Okay, Jorge, you're second.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the airport.
Oh,
yeah. The airport is the worst place to be because everybody's trying to get in or either trying to get out or just picking somebody
There's
up.
probably going to be delays.
Yes,
Everyone's going to be mad about it.
Yes,
I'm
right.
going to say the worst travel day is actually not on Christmas Eve.
It's not.
In the airport. Because usually if you're flying somewhere, you fly the weekend before Christmas. So this case is going to be the 20th and 21st this year. Absolute worst times to travel on Christmas. I guess 21st and 22nd.
I hate that you took the airport because that was
It
gonna
is
be
a good
my
choice,
very
though.
next pick because the log jam at an airport actually on Christmas Eve is not terrible. To Emily's point, it's more like the casino. It's depressing. Like what has happened to me why am I here? And you're probably going to have an overpriced bad drink at one of those crummy bars while you're waiting to go. It's just it's not a festive place to be, and the holidays are festive, and you want to be having a good time. Nobody has a good time in an airport.
And a lot of time, if you're there on Christmas Eve, it's because your flight got delayed on Christmas on the 23rd that you have to be there that
Or this
day.
was the only flight that you could afford or whatever. Like,
It's
work had you stay until this day.
It's circumstance, but it's depressing.
All right.
I'm stuck in traffic. I'm late to picking you up. Oh,
I have
forget it.
You got two, Trav.
I know, and I know which two I want, but one of them could get me in big trouble.
Hey, Susan.
I'm going to go with my third choice next here. I'm going to go with the grocery store because there's inevitably that frenzy to get the thing that you forgot. And to Jorge's point, you're meeting with friends and family. There's usually a dinner, and maybe it's not fancy, but everybody is in there. The store's picked over. The employees that are there don't want to be there because it's Christmas Eve. I totally get it.
You just need butter.
And it's just always one of those. Man, it's packed. Every time I've gone in there, it's crazy. So I'm going to take the grocery store there. I'm trying to find a delicate way to phrase this last one because I don't.
Somewhere that's not your house?
Does it rhyme with Linaws?
The Linaws are not my favorite thing in the world. I do not want to go to the Linaws.
Oh, you took mine.
Yeah, it's not that I don't love them and enjoy their company. It feels like an assignment. It feels like a chore that you have to check the box. Can we do it the day after or the week after or 4th of July? I would like to be in one place that day. I don't want to go to multiple places. The Linaws can be a very long afternoon / evening.
All right, Jorge.
I'm going to say...
I mean, that could be anything.
Yeah, it could. Exactly. Thank you. You
Yeah,
know
your
them too?
your
It's
neighbor,
just something that
Linaws.
rhymes with Linaws. It could be a lot of different things.
The Linaws are well known, and they're everywhere.
I'm going to say the mall, but more specific, a video game store. Because it's a last-minute thing.
Oh, yeah.
Where you're trying to get it for
Like
Little
GameStop
Johnny.
or whatever.
Yeah, GameStop or, whatever it was. So, just any store at the mall, I guess, when you're trying to buy that last-minute gift before you go to the in-laws or wherever you're headed. Just
The Linaws, are you kidding me?
Mispronounced it. It's
No, I'm saying me.
L-I-N-N-A-W. Linaws.
I'm saying for me.
Yeah.
So, just the mall, standing in line by last-minute. Yeah.
Indeed.
All right, Andy.
Before I talked about the casino as the worst place to be because it would make me feel worse about myself. This next place would just make me feel like worse about the world in general and just life being there Christmas Eve, an orphanage.
God.
And I mean like a straight up Straight up, little orphan Andy.
Yes, that would be an unfortunate place to wind up.
Yeah, also, I don't know, a funeral home. There's a lot of things that would be bad, Andy.
Crematorium.
Well,
I
no,
mean, my goodness.
The hospital.
Yeah.
Yes, these would all be bad places, Andy. This is not the gist of the draft.
No, it kind of is perfect.
Yeah, I'm supposed to pick a bad
an
place.
orphanage would be kind of a depressing situation under the best
because
of
it's
circumstances.
kids.
Yeah.
It's kids.
Andy, what if you're doing like Salvation Army type thing where you're like, making a meal for them,
dropping off toys.
Yeah, that's pretty lovely.
I'm talking about, but even then though, it's still a reminder. Like that is a really rough reminder of how difficult a Christmas could be for a child.
Oh my gosh.
You're
much?
right. That is true.
Honestly, I still think your casino's worse.
Oh God. So Andy's list is Christian rock concert, casino, and an orphanage.
I went very specific.
Okay, I'm gonna
Playing to
go
win.
not with like a location, but a scenario. I want to say in a heated argument, like specifically
that's
for
not
me to get in fights with my sisters on Christmas Eve, which happens a lot.
I thought you were thinking like the proverbial uncle who shows up for Thanksgiving is going to tell you what's wrong with yourself.
No, Christmas Eve typically is just the Hebel sisters and parents affair,
that's nice.
and it tends to be Emily or Sarah says something mean to the other one, and then that blows up, and then Maggie and Claire are like, "What the heck, guys?
Take the high road, Em."
I try, but it's really difficult."
Do you?
Just saw in the
but it can't be orphanage.
Just saw in the YouTube chat from Darwin. Andy is dark AF.
Well, hard to refute that after two of those and the orphanage. Jeez.
Yeah, we'd all hate to be at a hospital or at a funeral home.
Aunt Esther, A.K., waves at orphanages as he walks by. I don't even know if they still exist.
They do.
Probably. They might have a different name.
Foster homes. No, something like that, no?
Well, that's a home.
That's something else.
not
That's something else. Never mind.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Rams, Andy. My goodness.
Okay, I want to tell you guys about. So Puka had an amazing game on Sunday, fantastic game. He wanted to talk about how he felt during one of his routes, and I think you guys will enjoy it.
Okay, that's coming up next. It's Trav and Andy. 710 ESPN. Here's something that will get those terrible Andy images out of your head. Let's talk about my good friends at Rotolo Chevrolet. That's a great place to be any day of the year because you're looking for that brand new Silverado. You're looking for that brand new Chevy car or truck, and they're going to make you feel great, unlike some other people that we might know. They're going to make you feel wonderful about that new Silverado. They're going to make you feel like you've got the best deal and that you knew every step of the sales process. Not only have I been driving Silverados for a few years now, but I've bought cars from Rotolo Chevrolet, other cars from Rotolo Chevrolet, and I've been through the entire process, from the sales process to the financing to just about every part of it, from Mike Capozio right on down the line. There's Eddie, there's Frank, there's Armando. There's just an absolute army of great guys that are ready to take care of you at Rotolo Chevrolet. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You absolutely cannot miss it. All the Silverados. And if you can't get to Fontana, go online. They're still going to take care of you in that same unbelievable way that's allowed them to win Dealer of the Year 13 years in a row. RotoloChevy.com. ROTOLO. RotoloChevy.com, and tell them that Travis said.
Port changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. The LAX economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding, and in the future, the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. For more information, go to their website, flylax.com/transforminglax. That's flylax.com/transforminglax.
Score a win with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup options. Amazon Pickup is a convenient and secure way to collect your Amazon packages from locations that are near you. This season, keep your holiday gifts a surprise when you choose to pick up from Amazon Locker or Counter. Whether you're hustling between home, work, or your usual game day spots, grab your packages on your schedule. Amazon Pickup is the worry-free option for the times when home delivery isn't ideal. To find your nearest Amazon Pickup location, go to amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Kick back at Lazy Dog Restaurants. Whether it's for the big game, a casual night out, or happy hour, even late night happy hour. Enjoy handcrafted meals, drinks, and craft beer. Find your closest location at lazydogrestaurants.com.
After a massive win over the Buffalo Bills, your Los Angeles Rams return home with a playoff berth within reach. Rep the Royal in Seoul and pack SoFi Stadium as Matthew Stafford and the Rams seek revenge against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals. The stage is set for a race to the playoffs. Grab your tickets today at therams.com/AZ. Again, that is therams.com/AZ to watch your Rams battle the Cardinals on Saturday, December 28th or Sunday, December 29th at SoFi Stadium. See you at the Rams house.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
This is the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Now weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
It's the hard knock life for us. It's the hard knock life for us.
Sometimes you don't think out an answer enough. A friend of mine, by the way, texted during this with more suggestions of worst place to be on Christmas Eve that would have worked for me in the sense of just as dark, but maybe not quite. He suggested strip club.
Oh, that's a great one.
And jail.
Jail's never good, but I mean, jail is jail.
After a while, the days start to bleed into each other.
Theoretically, jail is not a choice. You just are in jail.
True.
Strip club and casino are a choice.
Yeah, strip club and casino were
you get there from a series of decisions that were made that day.
Yeah,
likely.
Yeah.
Yeah, strip club was kind of kissing cousins to my earlier casino one. My third choice was
look, you did what you did, and we're gonna move forward. Strip joint would have been a good one.
I have a feeling Ireland won't like it.
Like strip joint is depressing under the best of circumstances.
It can be.
Look, to each his own. Not my jam.
They have been my jam in the past, younger with friends, bachelor party thing, whatever. That said, I've seen some dark things in there, my friend.
Look, we've all been, we all have, and it's just one of those. It sounds great, and then you go, you're like, yeah, no, this is not good. this feels wrong.
I was once at, I don't remember, either the Rhino 1 or Rhino 2 in Vegas.
Yeah,
and with friends, might have been a bachelor party weekend or whatever. Get back to the hotel. And I realized that I had somehow dropped my phone in this strip club.
You had to go back?
I had to go back, and I'm basically, and this is awful.
Norm!
I am it's 5 in the morning or something, but it's still dark in there because they're always dark. I'm on my hands and knees crawling around on the floor. That's
awful. Unfortunate. Yeah,
it really
that
is.
would have been a good answer as well. Let's talk about Puka Nacua running routes, Em, if you don't mind, please.
So I was, doing my, reading before the show, before a meeting, trying to figure out, if some of our lovely writers here in Los Angeles had something to say about what are you laughing at?
In the chat. From Dan Wynn, Andy's going to say it's strip club orphanage.
Yeah. That would be pretty bad, too.
Yes, it would be.
I mean, there's a few that are darker, but not many.
All right, so anyway, I was looking at places, and so I was reading an article in the LA Times today, and someone had asked Puka Nacua what was going through his head during that route when he caught that really awesome toe touch on the sideline in the second quarter, even amazed Brady on the call. We all know what catch we're talking about. So, Puka said this. First thing I thought was Coop. First thing I told Coop was, I was like, man, I was a little horny in my route. I cut it a little bit early, and I was like, man, I felt in the timing. I was like, I'm ready to break open. Someone asked, horny? And he said, yeah, just super excited. Man, I was ready to get the ball. I love Puka Nacua.
He's great.
Because he will say stuff like this. He was on the Pat McAfee show, and he's just like a little kid running out there just in love with football. But I just like that he's just not really. I know he's thinking about the game.
Yes.
He's thinking about the route he's running, but he's also playing freely.
There's something deeply engaging about somebody who is wildly enthusiastic about what they do. And it doesn't matter what it is they're doing. It could be the most mundane thing in the world. Obviously, wide receiver in the NFL is not mundane, but when you have that incredible passion for what you do and it comes across as genuine, you can't help but like that person, or at least kind of get pulled into their aura of enthusiasm. And Puka is not only is a great football player, he's wildly enthusiastic, and he's got charisma and personality. He's fun to be around.
I mean, look, a different level of this in terms of day-to-day, game-to-game talent and what they bring. Kike is like that.
Yeah.
Kike is like that for the Dodgers.
He also might say that he's horny for baseball as
He
well.
definitely would say that. Yes. No, Kike is a great example of that. And Puka is fascinating to me because he had the year last year that was maybe the greatest wide receiver year anyone's ever had as a rookie. Most receptions, most yards. He was terrific, and got hurt this year. And it was kind of one of those, okay, because he was hurt a lot in college too. Which one is the outlier, the injury or the performance in his rookie year? Since he's come back and gotten back into the groove of playing NFL football, the Rams have looked like a different team. And he and Kupp together, even though maybe Kupp isn't the very best version of himself that we've seen previously where he won the Triple Crown, the two of those guys together are a serious handful. So you have that thing where you got a coach that knows what he's doing. Nobody argues that. You got a quarterback that knows what he's doing. Nobody argues that. And multiple weapons for those two guys to use. That's the formula that gets Rams fans excited for these next 4 games and whatever lies beyond.
I mean, they're a handful, I think, to deal with in part because they're really good at everything, including like blocking. Like
they're physical.
Specifically on that last touchdown for Puka Nacua, that Cooper block was insane.
Cooper Kupp is a phenomenal blocker.
He's strong.
He's really strong. Like, okay, Emily, with your Steelers going back, like one of the things that made Hines Ward such a great receiver, great blocker. Like that's something that not all receivers do well, but when they can do it well, they add an extra element. And both those guys can do it. They're both physical.
They both physical, and so it comes back to whether or not Stafford has the time to do it. That's what I want to talk about coming up next. I want to get into whether or not the Rams played their best game of the year, which they clearly did, which sets them up, or did they have that game that just about every team in the league has at least once? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Andy, 710 ESPN. Tell you about my friend Joseph S. Normand. Not only is Joseph a friend I've known for a very long time, but Joseph is that expert that you need in a moment that's very difficult. When my son Bobby was involved in an accident shortly after he got his driver's license, I called Joe and said, hey, here's what's going on. And the expertise and the way that he made me feel, the way that he made my son feel, taking us through that entire process is how everybody should feel in that moment. The insurance company, they're going to come at you fast, right? A lot of stuff is going on. They're throwing stuff at you that maybe you don't quite understand. This is where Joe can help you. If you're hurt in an accident, if you are hurt in any sort of way, you need to call the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. 213-747-2000. That number again, 213-747-2000. The insurance company's trying to get you off their books. They're trying to get done. They're trying to move to the next one. Joe's not going to let them do it to you. He's going to make sure that you get what you deserve, what you're entitled to. 213-747 and the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. If you are hurt, give Joe a call.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland is next after Travis and DeMarco.
A player that flipped to Oregon because he was going to get his own shoe.
Phil Knight said, if you go to Oregon, I'll make you your own shoe.
Yes.
If you were being recruited and Phil Knight called you and goes, hey, Mace, I will make the Air Mace.
Yeah, I would definitely do it for the Air Mace. Because when I get in the air, look out.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason and Ireland.
On 710 ESPN.
Inspired by Southern California's laid-back yet active lifestyle, Travis Matthew creates premium men's and women's apparel designed to make you look and feel your best no matter the activity. Now, Travis Matthew brings that same style to USC fans with their first ever collegiate collaboration. Designed with the iconic Cardinal and Gold, this collection carries the tradition and legacy of USC. Gear up for game days in style. New customers get 20% off their first order with code 710 at travismatthew.com. That's code 710. Offer valid online only.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office.
But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office,
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Hey, it's Mace. You have never experienced anything like Cosm. Trust me, it will blow your mind, and you can experience the Emirates NBA Cup like never before. NBA action in immersive shared reality. Every assist and dunk and buzzer beater comes to life on Cosm's immense 8K plus wraparound display. Use our exclusive discount code ESPNLA. Get 20% off any NBA event in November. Get your tickets now at Cosm.com. That's COSM.com.
Tis the season to tap in and follow the Purple and Gold on Instagram for access to exclusive behind-the-scenes content all season long. Follow the Lakers on Instagram and get exclusive insider access to highlights with angles straight from the floor. On Lakers Instagram, find out what happens behind the scenes through Instagram stories. Stay locked in throughout the season. Don't miss any of the action and follow the Lakers on Instagram now. Let's go, Lake Show.
Happy holidays from Mir Audio Video in Westwood with an exclusive deal for ESPN LA listeners. Introducing the stunning 98-inch LG QNED. This TV is next level for a limited time only. Our friends at Mir will be offering this once-in-a-lifetime TV for the lowest price on the planet. You can make it yours for just $4,100, including delivery. Hurry, because supply is limited. 310-234-4010. That's 310-234-4010. Thank you, Mir Audio Video.
Surprise! Your expenses this month were way higher than you expected! Also, you forgot to renew your website domain, and now you're in a bidding war!
You should see the look on your face.
At Progressive, we know small business owners don't usually like surprises because they cost you money. But a good surprise that could save you money? Getting a commercial auto quote from Progressive.
Plus, the fridge died in the break room, and now everything smells weird! All right!
Surprise yourself. See if you can save in as little as 7 minutes at ProgressiveCommercial.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates.
My name is Luke Bryan. Country music is my life, and I want to share it with y'all.
It's All Country is now streaming on Hulu.
And with the help of Luke Combs, Kane Brown, Lady A, Winona Judd, Sheryl Crow, and Mickey Guyton, we're going to explore everything country.
You couldn't ask for anything more than that.
When everybody brings their story, it really becomes something special. That is the beautiful side of country music.
In the end, it's all country.
It's All Country. All episodes now streaming on Hulu.
And yes, welcome to the Travis and DeMarco Show. Now mornings, 9 a.m. to noon on 710 ESPN, your destination for LA sports. Let's get back to the fellas. The Travis and DeMarco Show continues right now.
Is this the Beach Boys?
Yeah.
I don't hate this.
No.
Yeah, this is all right. And will you tell me, was it yesterday, the day before, that you went to see a comedy show?
I saw it on Monday.
Monday. And where'd you see it?
At the Largo. There was a Hanukkah special.
Okay. You saw the show at the Largo. And Andy, you and I were talking during the break. And I forget how we got on it, but I started telling you the story about how I saw a comedy show. And we were talking about weird things in weird places. I saw a comedy show, in the back room of a Marie Callender's. And it was so weird that it was a guy that I used to work with who was an aspiring comedian, and it was like they had an open mic, amateur night kind of thing going on. And they literally drew a curtain over the back room of this Marie Callender's up by my old house in Stevenson Ranch. And Susan and I went to see him. It was great. It for a moment, you forgot that you were at a Marie Callender's watching amateur comedy. And then some of these people would come out and just torch the Marie Callender's for like, this is how my career is going. I'm at the Marie Callender's in Stevenson Ranch, which I'm sure doesn't even exist anymore. It was great. I love those weird events in places that aren't supposed to have them. They always have kind of a weird energy.
When I used to bartend at the now defunct Westwood Brewing Company in Westwood Village, one of my regular nights was the upstairs on, I don't know, Tuesday nights or whatever. It was open mic night. And there were some comics actually who performed regularly who ended up breaking out. Like Chelsea Handler was a regular, Sarah Kalana was a regular, Bobby Lee, Chris Frangiola. Like there were a couple times, like Artie Lang did a couple random sets
no
there.
Kidding.
Yeah. I mean,
those are real successful comedians.
Yeah. I mean, these are, I'm sure, from their like probably lesser level comedy friends. Like they learn like, here's an open night, like low stakes. I can work out stuff. Like I can try things out without having to worry about bombing on a bigger scale.
One of Bobby's, my son Bobby is in a handful of fantasy football leagues, and you know they have the punishments for fantasy football. One of the punishments was if you finish last, you have to do 5 minutes at an open mic.
Wow,
I think that's such a great like booby prize, right? Because anybody can do it. Nobody really gets hurt. You're just mortally embarrassed for 5 minutes. Like if you can't do, one of the guys was so terrified, like he physically could not make himself walk up onto the stage.
It's a daunting prospect.
I could never do it.
I mean, I've always been curious about trying something like that, and I guess the closest I've really come is the roasts at the Mandy's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's essentially a stand-up act.
It is, and you pull it. You could do it. Like you have a little bit of that theater background, that performance background.
Some people may say it's a little long. I don't.
I mean, again, coming from Morales, the guy who hijacks 9 hours of programming every Tuesday, was upset that Brian and I went maybe 3 minutes long. Like, really?
So at the show I went to on Monday, one of the people who voices Tina from Bob's Burgers, so Dan Mintz was the one of the comedians, and his entire set is just the most out of left field setups and punchlines. He'll just do 2 sentences, pause, and then do 2 more sentences. It's amazing.
I haven't seen Dan Mintz do that, but I've seen that done.
That form,
that can be really, really funny and also very not funny.
Yeah, he was funny. The house loved it.
Yeah, the only thing when you go to stand-up show that I do not like the second I see it, I'm like,
crowd work.
Yep.
Yeah,
and I get that some people are really, really good at it and funny at it, but dude, get an act.
You're the show, not us.
Right.
It is, though. I mean, the people that work in between the comics and like warm up the audience, that is a skill in and of itself. Like that, to be really good at that. Like there was a comic, Brody Stevens, who unfortunately several years ago took his life. But I saw him do crowd work at a couple different places, and he became really known. Like he had comedy specials of his own and stuff like that, but he was known as being the guy that well-known comics could bring in to be their crowd work guy because he was so good at it. And I mean, he was a big sports fan, actually, a big Dodger fan.
Really?
I want to say after his passing, I want to say the Dodgers actually honored him.
Oh, no kidding.
Like they did something for him.
Yeah, it's always fun. Even a bad comic can be kind of fun because it's really fun to watch somebody squirm up there every once in a while.
The worst show I've been to here in LA was I went to see what is the Comedy Store, and it was like David Spade was the headliner, so I was expecting it to be pretty good.
Just not to interrupt your. I think David Spade is so funny. I think he is unbelievably funny.
I think he is 97% of the time. I caught him on the 3%.
Oh no!
It absolutely bombed, well as everyone in the show bombed because it was so hot in that room.
Yeah.
There was no air conditioning. Everyone was really antsy, and also the jokes were bad. And so it was not a great night.
It's a bad cocktail of comedy night.
David Spade is really talented, and he's a really good comedian. He was not good that night.
It happens.
Nobody
gets a hit every night. Nobody gets a hit every night.
They used to have comedy night on Monday nights, and you had people like Felipe Esparza who went and won the Comedy Central Last Comic Standing, Jeff Garcia, and then like you guys say, they used to go and practice their material. And then later on, they go big things.
It's an art. It's a skill. Yeah. It's not just when it doesn't feel like it is when you know they're absolutely killing it. All right. So speaking of, you can't win every night, and you're not what you are every night. Did the Rams on Sunday against the Bills, unequivocally they put their best game of the season, right? They were really, really good, especially on offense. And I'm not even jumping up and down on the defense, despite the fact they gave up 42 points, because Josh Allen, I think that was more of a Josh Allen is an alien thing than it is the Rams defense has like mortal flaws. But the Rams have played 13 games. Okay, they're 7-6. They're over 500 for the first time all season long. Of those 13 games, I think they've played somewhere between pretty good and very good twice, against Minnesota and against the Bills. The other 11 games have fallen somewhere between, it was good enough to beat the team you were playing that day, New England, the Raiders, the 49ers the first time they played them when everybody was kind of hurt, to that's not a particularly good football team. So did they have the day of theirs? Every team has one. The Raiders beat the Ravens this year, right? That weird stuff in this league happens where teams that are mediocre to bad have a really good night, and really good teams have bad nights. Which are the Rams? Are they the 11 other games, or are they finally figured out their offensive line is good, they got their weapons, the quarterback, et cetera?
Well, I mean, they had the most in front of them to work with.
Yeah.
I mean, whether you think that this is sustainable or even 75, 80% sustainable moving forward or not, what makes it make sense on some level is just the basic idea of we had our guys back.
Yeah.
We had our most dangerous guys back, and that can make us the most dangerous version of ourselves. How often can we crank this up? Do it again? That remains to be seen. But it would be, if they had done this somehow without Kupp and without Nacua, where basically it's like Tutu Atwell has the game of his career, then it feels more potentially fluky, because it's like, how often could you do that? Like, if you could do this regularly, they would have figured out a way to do it with Atwell more often.
Right.
But with Kupp and Nacua, that is something that at least feels sustainable moving forward, whether they're capable or not.
Yeah, I think tonight is going to be a really good indicator of whether or not that was the best night of the year, or whether or not they have all of their weapons at their disposal and they're going to go on a run similar to what we saw last year. Because remember, last year they were 3-6, and they beat like the Browns, they beat the Commanders, and it's like, yeah, they're winning some games, but I don't know. And then all of a sudden, and last year it was that Baltimore game, which they actually lost.
But they played incredible.
They played incredible. You're like, hey, they're good. And then they looked good the rest of the way, and they gave the Lions a great game in the playoffs. And I think that the Rams were a good team at the end of the year. I think we're going to get closer to that if they go out there, because the 49ers, no Trent Williams, no Christian McCaffrey. Debo has not had a good season at all.
Their running back has a sprained foot.
Guerrero,
yes,
he's their third string guy, and he may be hobbled. Kittle's looked pretty good of late, but this is not that 49er juggernaut that we've seen for the last several years. The 49ers are vulnerable, so if they can go in there and look really good against a division opponent on a short week, I think that's when you're like, you know what? They finally are the team we've been hoping they are all season, because we finally saw it last week.
Okay, we were talking about what is repeatable, and you have all your guys back, which they did against Buffalo. Like Kyren Williams, for example. Like, we've seen him run really well all season. We've also seen games where it gets undercut by fumbling. This was a game where, he didn't put the ball on the ground.
Right.
Is that repeatable? Like, just those individual pieces of it. Can you keep doing that?
With Kyren specifically, since he put the ball on the ground a few times, and it wasn't just that one game. He was having a fumbling problem this season. They finally put Blake Corum in a situation that was meaningful, and he looked really good. You know who's looked way better since then? Kyren Williams. Yeah. This is competition 101. Hey, that guy, they just drafted a running back in the third round, right? And a well-known good player in Blake Corum. Didn't really play. I'm fumbling a bunch. All right, put Corum in there. That looked pretty good. Let's tighten up our game here a little bit. That's not a coincidence to me at all.
No, I mean, look, Kyren Williams has it in him.
He's good.
To be really good. I mean, we've seen him. He is a very good running back. I mean, he's had a really good season despite the fumbling. Like, you still have to look at his season on balance and say, it's been really good, but those fumbles become costly when you're a team that has smaller margins than everyone else. This is a wake-up call for him. Like, look, dude, we appreciate what you can do. We can't have the fumbling anymore.
I'm not hoping to speak this into existence, but they need to hope. And Jorge, maybe your guy's having a bad year too. It seems like he's a little better. But if this comes down to a kick, I think both teams would be hoping the other team is the team trying to kick. right? That, hey, you got a last-second kick. Would you rather try to defend it or
crazy,
take it?
though.
Or a PAT, man. Even those are missing.
It's crazy how much that stuff can change, though, because I remember last year, Jorge, correct? That was Moody's rookie season, right? Last year?
Mm-hmm.
He was a great rookie kicker.
They're relief pitchers, man. The only two, and hockey goalies, the only three things that, like, you can look like, oh, this guy is amazing. He's an all-star caliber relief pitcher, kicker, goalie, to he can't stop a thing. He can't make a kick. He can't get a guy out. It turns kickers, with exceptions, obviously, but my gosh, they're fickle.
Well, it's also, too, with kicking, you only get so many chances, so the misses become so loud.
Yeah. Bonk.
Yeah, you don't. They're literally loud.
Yeah.
And they're also, there's scarcity to them, so they really stick out.
All right, it is a Cosm Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Call in, how about right now? If you're caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, you got a chance to win a pair of tickets to watch the NBA Cup Championship game at Cosm, Los Angeles. Experience the game like never before in shared reality. Limited tickets available through Cosm.com or the Cosm mobile app. Fact or cap? Coming up next, it's Trav and Andy, 710 ESPN.
Mason and Ireland.
Like if you went to the JCC tonight and you watched two teams play 5-on-5 shirts versus skins, I mean,
would you go shirts or skins?
I'm going to go shirts, and here's why.
Yeah, because of the visceral fat.
Well, besides my being disgusting and my lack of confidence that I'd be like constantly like trying to pull in my gut.
Yeah.
The thing is, I used to play in these 5-on-5 shirts versus skins games pre-COVID.
It's gross.
It's disgusting.
Yeah, it's gross.
Okay, like
it's like
there's
a
always
long-came poly.
And there's always a guy who's like 50, 60 pounds overweight who you can tell was a decent athlete at one point, but he's just carrying all this extra weight. He's fat, he's sweaty, he's hairy, and he's putting himself all over me. Bro, step back. Okay, get away from me. Okay, just get back. If we're gonna play at the JCC, yarmulkes versus no yarmulkes. You feel me?
The LA Afternoon Takeover. That's Sedano and Cap
on 710 ESPN.
Insurance claim. Those two words used to instantly manifest a pit in my stomach. In fact, I get flashbacks of being lowballed and made to feel like a criminal. And of course, just being ignored. No insurance company is in a rush to fairly compensate clients, even though they unabashedly take our money every year. All of that's behind me now, and I'm never going back thanks to Avner Gatt. Dealing with insurance companies is all they do. Avner Gatt has one of the largest teams of professional licensed public insurance adjusters in California, and many of these people used to work for insurance companies. The team at Avner Gatt knows exactly how to handle your claim. You also have some Avner Gatt adjusters with experience in handling hazardous materials, where asbestos and lead testing was their profession. Some of them used to work at law firms handling bad faith claims. Trust me, they know how to deal with any insurance claim dispute. Avner Gatt covers all of Southern California with a real passion for helping people, which becomes all the more obvious when you realize Avner and his family are still the ones answering the phones. So whatever unfortunate occurrence led you to the insurance claim and subsequent abusive relationship, being lowballed, ignored, judged, know that Avner has your back. And if somehow I still haven't convinced you, just check out what seems to be a never-ending stream of 5-star reviews on Yelp, Google, and the Better Business Bureau. Call today. 818-917-5256. That's 818-917-5256 and online at avnergatt.com.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. At Los Angeles International Airport, changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. The LAX Economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding, and in the future, the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. For more information, go to their website, flylax.com/transforminglax. That's flylax.com/transforminglax.
Hey, LA, let's talk trash. Food waste, that is. Tossing your food scraps in the regular trash sends them to landfills where they release harmful gases like methane. Fight global warming by simply sorting your food scraps and placing them in your green bin. It's quick, it's easy, it helps protect our planet. Ready to do your part? Visit cleanla.com or call 888-CLEAN-LA for more tips. This message funded by Cal Recycle.
one of LA's best kept secrets in the heart of Los Angeles. East Central Hotel offers effortless accommodations and unparalleled accessibility. The East Central Hotel is for everyone looking for entertainment with their trendy, spacious rooms, a renovated gym, and a patio lounge for breakfast, dinner, and drinks. Stop by their incredible Nixo Lounge before your next event at LA Live. Book your stay at eastcentralhotel.com or call 213-748-1291 today at Entertainment's official address.
Hey folks, when it comes to Christmas trees, don't get played by foreign plastic. Just like you wouldn't replace a prize QB with a mannequin. Don't replace American Farm Fresh trees with fake foreign plastic. These farm families are the MVPs of Christmas, growing champions right here on American soil. They're not sitting on the bench. They're out there every day growing real Christmas traditions. Make the winning choice, Farm Fresh Christmas trees, not foreign plastic that pollutes. Visit GetRealKeepItReal.com to find your local farm MVP.
Hey, fans! Welcome back to Fansville's Cheers and Tears. Oh. Okay, so like everybody deals with losing, right? To a rival on a last-second field goal. Whatever, it's fine. I'm totally fine. But I cope with losing with an ice-cold Dr. Pepper. Those 23 flavors are like so delicious. They totally wash away the pain of your college football team taking a big fat L. College football, it's a pepper thing.
As you know, we've welcomed a new partner here at 710 ESPN, NextGen. NextGen, the official AC, heat, and plumbing company of SoCal sports fans.
You're as cold as ice.
Call 833-3-NEXTGEN, NEXGEN, or visit nextgenairandplumbing.com. Time for our feature we do 3 days a week. Who's hot, who's cold, thanks to NextGen.
Boy, time for Who's Hot, Who's Cold. Take it away,
It is Factor Cap time.
Factor Cap.
On the Travis and DeMarco Show. Each weekday around 10:30, producer Emily serves up what's going down. And fun and frivolity ensues. Special thanks to the law offices of Joseph S. Normand for making Factor Cap possible.
It's Joseph S. Normand. It's Factor Cap on the Travis and DeMarco Show on 710 ESPN. And if you've been hurt in an accident, let me help you. Call my office at 213-747-2000. That's 213-747-2000.
Let's do it. Factor Cap.
Right now. Take it away, producer Emily.
Welcome to Factor Cap.
Is it heel or hill?
Heel.
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 Hill?
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias.
Buenos dias. Buenos
Okay.
dias, Gil.
All right, so I was listening to a podcast yesterday, The Big Picture, from The Ringer, and one of the guests on the show is Tracy Letts. You might not recognize the name right off the bat, but if you
Spell
looked him
that
up,
last name for me.
Letts. You might recognize his face. He's a writer. He's an actor, and but he talked.
Yeah, I know that guy.
He sat down and talked to the host of the show about physical media, because both the host and him are huge proponents of physical media. And if you don't know, just me saying that term, it means just the collection of DVDs, movies, TV shows, Blu-rays, and like the real collecting every single version of this that's ever come out.
As opposed to having downloaded it.
Right,
like
exactly.
where you have it in digital on your hard drive or whatever.
And me and Andy have talked about how he has a collection of physical media. When I went to college, had a relatively smaller but still a large piece of physical media.
People will know him from this if you're listening to this radio station. He played the coach in Winning Time.
Yes,
He was the coach that crashed on his bike. I'm blanking on his name.
Westhead.
No, the other guy was
Westfall. Westfall.
No, was he Westhead? No, yeah. Jason Segel was Paul Westhead.
I think we can look up the guy who fell.
Jack McKinney.
Jack McKinney.
Yes.
So he played Jack McKinney on Winning Time. If you watch that show, anyway. But he oftentimes when talking would get like really defensive about how many he had. He said he has about 10,000.
Yikes.
DVDs, movies, Blu-rays. But we all have our thing. We collect things. You collect baseball cards. People collect shoes. People collect hats. People collect all these different things. My statement is, all collecting is a disease with different forms. Travis Factor Cap.
Fact. Now, the disease is the word that trips me up just a little bit because
again, you're preserving something.
But I get it. But some of them can be quite lucrative.
Of course.
So like there's
but also quite expensive.
I'm collecting, I don't know, pull tabs from old Budweiser cans. It's like, yeah, okay, that's just a mess. But if you're collecting vintage bottles of wine, they can be rather expensive and lucrative. But yeah, it's all the same thing. Inherently, my baseball card collection is not particularly interesting to anybody other than me, right?
Yeah, he would talk about oftentimes how when a new version of this say Wizard of Oz is coming out in 4K UHD, and that you have to go get that Wizard of Oz 4K UHD.
That's a disease.
Even if you already have 3 versions of the Wizard of Oz. Andy, all collecting is a disease in different forms.
Cap, because I think disease is too strong. That denotes automatically that it's destructive and negative, which I think is unfair. I would substitute in the word obsession, because it is in one way or another an obsession. I do think all collections are in one way or another an obsession, because you have to be obsessed enough to put the work into it.
Do you collect anything?
To know the difference, too.
I would... Yeah, I have a couple. I collect, this is very specific and random. Vanity Fair every year does the Hollywood issue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love that.
I have just about every single one of those going back to about 95 or 96.
Wow.
I don't subscribe to Vanity Fair anymore, but I do have those. I used to collect DVDs more, not at the Tracy Letts scale, but I used to try to have more until I was told to stop because it was taking up space in ways that somebody in our house, who will remain anonymous, did not appreciate.
I see.
I would say that I have about maybe...
Does it rhyme with knife?
Could.
You could use other words for that, Jorge.
Yeah, she's a member of the Linhaw clan.
Yeah, exactly.
Might also rhyme with mouse.
Yeah, that's probably a better one to use.
But I would say I have about maybe 300 or 400 DVDs. I care.
It rhymes with life.
Yeah, it does.
I care about the physical media experience. Like I think preserving
it is better.
You strike me as a vinyl record guy.
Maybe way back in the day.
Okay.
Really, the thing I had the most of was cassettes.
Okay.
Because they were more portable. I also want to, though, give a shout out to my buddy Todd Robert Anderson. He's an actor. I used to do improv with him. If anybody saw the show You're the Worst, redheaded actor. He played Vernon on You're the Worst. Todd has the most DVDs of anybody I know. So I texted him asking him, how many do you think you have? Not even giving the context. I told Emily before the show started, I thought maybe 2,000 to 3,000. He estimates he has about 10,000.
Oh, my gosh.
So shout out to Todd. You are on the Tracy Letts level.
Where do you keep them?
Garage.
Okay.
And Tracy Letts talked about how he has 2 different rooms that he keeps them in for different reasons. Jorge, what about you?
Yeah, I'm with Danny on this one. I think disease is a little too strong. Obsession, yes. I have a ton of hats.
Yeah,
I sent you a couple pictures of some of the baseball cards that I have.
Yeah.
A couple, like, cool ones.
Very cool ones.
Yeah. And then the other thing, I also have DVDs, and I also stopped collecting. I was to the point where you would go to a 7-Eleven, and you would walk in, and there would be they would sell the donuts here, the magazines, and there would be like a DVD section.
That rack that spun.
Yes. So my buddy and I, we would look for the ones that had no box. And I came across Munich. I came across, just different films that to this day they're still in that 7-Eleven little cardboard thingy.
Yeah.
But my buddy Richard, who hosts movie nights at this brewery in San Dimas, he's the type of person who, if we're gonna play a Blu-ray, he's gonna bring his Blu-ray, and he's gonna put the physical Blu-ray on there, and we're all gonna watch the movie from the Blu-ray.
Well, I mean, part of why I think it matters is if you're really into that stuff, like whether you're talking about physical media with DVDs or like the way albums and to a lesser degree cassettes used to be, like you would have the liner notes in there. Like you would learn a lot of information about the movie or the music or the whatever.
Have you watched the Yacht Rock video?
Not yet.
They talk about exactly what you just described.
I mean, I used to be the person that would read the liner notes in the albums that I bought.
It's less passive. So like putting it on Spotify is passive. Put it on your Netflix is passive. You have to physically open the DVD. You have to put it in. You have to select play movie off of the menu screen. You can also go to commentary. You can go to deleted scenes.
Taking a step further,
bloopers.
too, you used to have to go to the place to go get it. And you would have to sift through the aisles of the video store, the music store, the whatever. Like, it was a true act of going to get it.
Yeah, we sound like old people. All right, so...
This must horrify you, Emily.
I know, it's terrible. I'm becoming old. All right, so there is a creator, or not creator, a person on TikTok who... I'm saying TikTok. It's on Twitter. His name is Big Red Dave. So he is in college at Nebraska, and he has been taking pictures of one of his classmates who sits in the very front row of his auditorium, one of those big auditoriums where you have a bunch of students in there. And this guy sits always in the front row, always kind of near the chalkboard, and every day he has a different jersey. Different jersey from different sport, different player, different whatever. And sometimes it's like, LeBron James or Giannis, but then sometimes it's like super deep cut. And you're like, oh, wow, this guy's got this. And it usually is like wearing this jersey. Sorry?
Sasha Vujicic.
Yeah.
It's not even deep enough.
It's saying like, someone's wearing this in 930 geography. You bet is the thing. So anyway,
Shannon Brown.
He was getting a big following for it, and Fanatics found out about it, and then he surprised him the last day of classes with a year's worth of jerseys from Fanatics, which I think is great. So I know at our pregame show this past week, someone was wearing a high school Jared Goff jersey
Marin Catholic.
to the game.
That's pretty cool.
You respect somebody who wears random jerseys. I guess not random is a bad word, but like very deep cut. Andy, fact or cap? And this goes to the collecting question.
Fact, sure. I mean, it's not my thing. Like, I often feel like adults wearing jerseys look kind of silly. But that said, if this is your thing, go for it. Like, and especially if you start getting creative, or if you're clearly doing the work, like where you come up with Jared Goff's high school jersey, yeah, I respect that. It's not my thing, but I respect, like, you're really doing your thing, and you are doing it loudly. Good with it.
Travis?
I don't have a lot to add to that because I agree with it completely. To me, it's not my thing. I used to be kind of aggressively anti-jersey. I've changed my tune on that. If that's what you like, great, cool. Not my thing, but I do like the deep cut. Unless it's a very well-known, like, for instance, the Kobe Lower Marion jersey. You see that a lot, right? You see that a lot. We were talking about the Goff. I'd never seen Jared Goff's high school jersey, so the deeper the cut, the better. But yeah, why not?
All right, Jorge?
Yeah, that's another thing that I have. I have a ton of jerseys. One
lot.
time during the Mason Ireland show, I did it. I think I did for 2 months straight. I had jersey. I was wearing a jersey every day. But yeah, and then speaking of jerseys, yesterday I go to the mail and I check, and I got this Messi, but this is a specific Messi. This is the Messi jersey from the final against France.
Oh, that's cool.
It has a description in the front, the stadium, the time, the date, whatever, and it has a 2 stars. Not the 3-star like everybody else has, they have now, but I was excited. But I like seeing deep cuts when it comes to soccer jerseys, like a Seedorf or things like that from like European soccer players. Those are pretty cool.
I dig that.
All right, so this morning, Kevin Durant had a response to somebody. It doesn't really matter what he was responding to because he's responding to everything. But
Fair.
What stuck out to me is just it's a tweet to live by, and I think this is great. So Kevin Durant tweeted this: "I've accepted that most people will die haters." This is true. Jorge, fact or cap?
Who's it? Kevin Durant?
Yeah, Kevin Durant. I've accepted that most people will die haters.
In Kevin Durant's world, I'm going to go with fact.
Yeah.
Travis, what do you got?
Exactly.
Take it away, Travis.
It's funny. I think you go one of two ways as you get older, right? That you either soften or you get more nasty and mean.
Or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Yeah. And because I've seen it happen both ways. I'd like to think that as I've gotten older, I've softened on a lot of things I used to have very strong opinions about. I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever. If that's how you want to roll, that's how you want to roll. So, no, I don't think most people die haters. I think half the people die haters.
Okay, Andy?
I'm going cap as well. I think most people are too indifferent to be that much of a hater about anything, like to put that sort of energy. And like, this example came from Kevin Durant being online. People confuse online for real life all the time. Online is a much more hostile, nasty place filled of haters. Most of your actual life is filled with monotony.
Yeah.
And like you're not dealing with that many haters in your real life. Even if some of these people would go online and put on their hater mask and their hater persona, in real life they don't actually do this.
Fact or Cap is brought to you by the law offices of Joseph S. Normand. You have many choices in your legal team, but family always comes first with Joe. Call 213-747-2000. That's the law office of Joseph S. Normand, 213-747-2000. And, of course, online at normandlegal.com, Nourmand, normandlegal.com. LeBron took a little time yesterday. He's getting healthy, he's getting right, and he's away from the team. Anything there? That's next. It's Trav, it's Andy, 710 ESPN.
Hear the excitement of Kings hockey this season.
This fall, 710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app is your home for every moment of the Los Angeles Kings.
Hear the excitement of Kings hockey this season in only one place. Easy to access, easy to find, easy to enjoy every Kings game and your favorite Kings podcasts.
710 ESPN and the all-new ESPN LA app.
Hey, it's Mace. You have never experienced anything like Cosm. Trust me, it will blow your mind, and you can experience the Emirates NBA Cup like never before. NBA action in immersive shared reality. Every assist and dunk and buzzer beater comes to life on Cosm's immense 8K plus wraparound display. Use our exclusive discount code ESPNLA. Get 20% off any NBA event in November. Get your tickets now at Cosm.com. That's COSM.com.
Bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, crowd rocking for Rotolo Chevrolet's top hitter, Mike Capozio. He's facing off with the Bulldog, and these two have quite the history. Here's the pitch. Oh, he got all of it. That ball is out of here like a red Corvette, and it's going and going and going. Yes!
Dad, are you having that dream again?
Come see what the fun is all about at Rotolo Chevrolet.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's going to finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at getethos.com. That's getethos.com.
You never have to miss a moment of LA's mega sports station. Get the all-new ESPN LA app.
Just search ESPN LA in your App Store or Google Play.
Download, tap, and bam!
You got 710 ESPN in the palm of your hand.
710 ESPN, the destination for LA sports this fall.
Here comes LeBron and slam dunk right in Paul George's face and a foul.
Lakers basketball.
Got it back. Another three. Good. What a night for Austin Reeves.
Rams football.
Cup of the six. Cup to the pylon. Touchdown, Cooper Cup. Touchdown, LA.
The USC Trojans.
Hands off the marks. Up the middle. Into the end zone. Touchdown. They're going wild in half of this stadium as the Trojans are going to pull off the upset. How do you do?
LAFC.
Oh, flip for LA Football Club.
The LA Kings and Angels baseball.
The all-new ESPN LA app, your destination for LA sports.
This is the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Now weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
All right. We talked about him at 10:15. And I like him because he's really excited to run some routes. But my Pachanga pick of the week is going to be having to do with the game tonight. I think I'm going to take Puka Nacua, sitting at 0.5 touchdowns on Prize Picks. I'm going to take him to go over. I think he will score a touchdown today. And they're going to need him to score a touchdown. He's that one reliable receiver on the Rams. If you want to get a little frisky, I don't know what Isaac Grendo is right now on Prize Picks. I'm sure he's probably also sitting at 0.5 touchdowns. I think that he's going to go under. I think that his foot sprain is going to be more serious than we think it is, and they're not going to get much running game happening. So I think that I'm going to take under on Isaac Rendo at 0.5 touchdowns. So this was the Pachanga pick of the week, presented by Pachanga Pechanga Resort Casino. Play your perfect combination at Pechanga Resort Casino. Visit pechanga.com for more information.
All right, I got another number for you, Andy. 3.5, or more or less, to use the Prize Picks vernacular. So far, the good folks at NFL Films have come in here to shoot the open for a Rams Thursday night football game. And the previous four earlier this week, they came in earlier this week to shoot DeMarco and myself. The 3 previous times that they have done it, I am the only one that has appeared in the pregame lead up to the game. This would make 4. I have a feeling DeMarco is going to be the guy that they use this week.
He did somehow have some good little chunks.
He was much better than I was this time. He did a really good job on it, and he and the producer on it, they bonded. So I think I'm out. I think I'm going to get beat this week.
Here's where I challenge this slightly. Your background is better than his background, and that might be what they're more interested in. Your background of the cityscape and his background of
that has nothing
corner.
to do with it. It's clearly my face and my incredible intellect and acumen for the football.
I mean, sex sells.
Exactly. This right here is what. But I think DeMarco gets on tonight.
I have an insider over there, so maybe I'll see what he gave us.
It will take. Once it airs, I will know, because if I'm in it, people start telling me. If I don't get any texts, I know I didn't get in. And I don't think I'm getting in.
Well, stay tuned. Be tuned in early to the game tonight on Prime to see who's on the show.
DeMarco was particularly riveting.
He was good. I'm not going to lie. He was good. He was animated. He was good to go. And I saw them whip the camera around to him a couple of times. I'm like, okay.
Oh, the whip around.
Yeah. Yeah.
Dramatic.
So what are you going to do? 3.5. Are you taking the over or the under?
I'm going to take the over.
Oh, you think?
I feel like you are underestimating yourself.
And the audience is expecting you now. When they have a Rams game, they expect this guy.
It's deeply compelling because I'm on camera. The 3. If you added up the TRT of my face on the Amazon pregame show on the previous 3, it's less than 3 seconds.
But I just feel like at this point, they Amazon, they focus group this stuff. They figured out what the audience wants, and what they want is you.
Perhaps. I'll be paying attention.
Test audiences in Des Moines, they love Travis Rogers.
Who's that balding, gray-haired fatso that's in there? Yeah, that more of that.
You know what it could be? Maybe what's keeping you in this, it's the transformation.
Could be.
People are watching the transformation from tubbier Travis to skinnier Travis.
I did get a few texts from people like, dude, Job called the other day. And he was the one that said LeBron didn't know how to shoot. And I said, you mean the guy that's made more baskets than anyone in the history of the league? Is bad. That video ran again with his new call the other day with me in it. I do look different.
That's what I'm saying.
I do look different.
Maybe this is sort of like the B story or the C story. It's people watching you transform and go through this life journey.
The A story is always LeBron James when it comes to the Lakers, and the B and the C. And I don't know how far into the alphabet we need to go, but pretty deep before we talk about other things. He was now Lakers practice again. They'll finally play again tomorrow after having a kind of an unusual midseason break because of the IST and some other things like that. But anything to read into the fact that he wasn't in practice, or it's just, hey, dude, I'm 40. I've been in this league a long time. I need a little bit of rest.
Tell you, Travis, when we come back.
How about that?
How about that? Yeah.
How about, see, you would have gotten on Amazon with that. That's how that works. It is a Cosm Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Call in right now. If you're calling number 7 at 877-710-ESPN, you have a chance to get a pair of tickets to watch the NBA Cup Championship at Cosm LA. Experience the game like never before in shared reality. Limited tickets available through Cosm.com or the Cosm mobile app. Andy's answer next, 710 ESPN.
LA's mega Temptations. And the Four Tops. Celebrating 40 years of Temptations and Four Tops. Saturday, January 18th at Fantasy Springs Resort Casino. Plus celebrating 60 years of the iconic hit, My Girl. Tickets on sale now at FantasySpringsResort.com. Come celebrate 40 years of magic. The Temptations, the Four Tops.
The biggest show on the radio.
Mason and Ireland weekdays at noon.
I will not drive overseas. I mean,
I do it.
especially I snapped the axle when I was driving.
How? Tell me the story.
Yeah.
So I
So
drove
he was at the Matterhorn.
Where
drove
were you?
away from Gatwick, right? And I'm
London?
going north.
Okay.
So I pull into a gas station, and there are these big, gigantic curbs around to sort of guide you through. Drove right over one of them. Front of the snap, the axle
They're
snapped.
big, gigantic curbs. You didn't see them?
No, I missed them.
How stoned were you?
I was I took the insurance and literally I
Thank
walked
God.
away. There was
You just left the car there.
No, I called them. I said this car is ruined, and they came and they picked it up, and I never.
Did you get a new one?
Never. No. I said,
like,
can I
"We
get
will not
another
rent
car?
you."
They said we're not going to rent you again.
Steve Mason and John Ireland today at noon.
Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN.
Inspired by Southern California's laid-back yet active lifestyle, Travis Mathew creates premium men's and women's apparel designed to make you look and feel your best no matter the activity. Now, Travis Mathew brings that same style to USC fans with their first ever collegiate collaboration. Designed with the iconic Cardinal and Gold, this collection carries the tradition and legacy of USC. Gear up for game days in style. New customers get 20% off their first order with code 710 at travismathew.com. That's code 710. Offer valid online only.
710 ESPN, the destination for LA sports this fall.
Here comes LeBron and slam dunk right in Paul George's face and a foul.
Lakers basketball.
Got it back. Another three. Good. What a night for Austin Reeves.
Rams football.
Cup of the six. Cup to the pylon. Touchdown, Cooper Cup. Touchdown, LA.
The USC Trojans.
Hands off the mark. Up the middle. Into the end zone. Touchdown. They're going wild in half of this stadium as the Trojans are going to pull off the upset. How do you do?
LAFC.
Oh, flip for LA Football Club. Did he?
The LA Kings and Angels baseball.
The all-new ESPN LA app, your destination for LA sports.
This holiday season, Straight Talk Wireless is letting you say yes a lot more with real unlimited data. Yes to sharing pics of the ugliest holiday sweaters. Yes to checking weather on the go for surprise sledding trips. And with a free phone at sign up, let the yes-tivities begin.
No way!
Yes way. Straight Talk, real unlimited data. Available at Walmart or straighttalk.com. Offer valid through 1/5/25 while supplies last at participating stores. Taxes and fees apply. Requires in-store activation on select single line plans. Limit of 2 phones per customer. For network management practices, visit straighttalk.com.
Okay, I have to tell you. I was just looking on eBay where I go for all kinds of things I love, and there it was.
That hologram trading card. One of the rarest. The last one I needed for my set. Shiny like the...
Designer handbag of my dreams. One of a kind. eBay had it, and now everyone's asking, ooh, where'd you get your...
Windshield wipers. eBay has all the parts that fit my car. No more annoying. Just beautiful.
Whatever you love, find it on eBay. eBay. Things people love.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
And yes, welcome to the Travis and DeMarco Show. Now mornings, 9 a.m. to noon on 710 ESPN, your destination for LA sports. Let's get back to the fellas. The Travis and DeMarco Show continues right now.
This isn't another Annie song, is it? No.
The pentatonic
time of the season. I'm sorry. I need to say this again. We're looking at SportsCenter right now and ESPN over the shoulder. They have the cameras on at Bill Belichick's soon-to-be introductory press conference at the University of North Carolina. I'm sorry, that's weird, man. I kind of like it. I'm deeply interested in the variety of outcomes that may present themselves. Bill Belichick, head coach at the University of North. Weird enough that it's college, but even odder that it's a middle-of-the-road college program.
It's just, it also speaks to guys like Belichick that are as successfully as he's been, but also as deeply competitive as he is. They're just built different, because if I was in my early 70s with that type of financial security that Belichick has, And also, having accomplished as much as he has, I'm not saying that I would sit around and do nothing because I would get bored with that.
Sure.
And I'm not even saying that I wouldn't want to do something still in football. Like if you wanted to pay me to be a consultant for your team or some type of role that could be loosely defined where I do tangibly help you, but it's somewhat on my own clock, fine. You could not quite literally pay me to do the day in, day out that is required to be the head football coach of a major university.
No.
Not in a million damn years. It's like when Doc Rivers, who, he was with us at ESPN for years calling games. And by the way, Doc, I think, is great in the booth.
I do too.
I think he's really good.
I do too.
The idea that you would go back to coaching, having already accomplished a championship, you've been to a couple finals.
Grind, man.
You could, and we know Doc loves to play golf.
Sure.
He loves to be on that course all the time. You could not pay me to do that.
So I think the same thing with Doc, same thing with Bill Belichick, and you used the right word a second ago. And it's the very reason why all of the Sean McVay to TV stuff made me go, I don't think so. They're too competitive. You don't get to keep score on TV, right? You go in, you call the game, you offer your expertise as to what's happening and unfolding in front of you, but you didn't win or lose at the end of the night. You go back, you go have a nice dinner, drink a nice glass of wine, and all right, I got another one in another city with 2 other teams coming up in a week. There's no score. Sean McVay lives and breathes football like Bill Belichick lives and breathes football. Those guys, they want a scoreboard attached to what it is they're doing.
You know what's funny? I mean, and this is total armchair psychology on my part potentially, but I think it could make sense. JJ Redick is super competitive.
Yeah.
Like he was known that way as a player. And the idea of keeping score with what you conquer after your athlete life, he went into the media space. He conquered it really quickly.
Yeah.
Like JJ Redick ended up like one of the top guys at ESPN as far as calling games, the assignments you get, and he conquered the podcast space fast. So if there was an itch to be scratched there, got scratched too quickly, it might lead to him ending up coach of the Lakers or coaching somewhere because he can't even compete anymore in that media space. He already won.
I wish that I was creative enough to come up with this to segue this into LeBron, but this is what we're talking about. This is what we're talking about. I want to play 82 games. Why? Why are you going to play 82 games at 40 years old? What's the point of that? Because I want to do the thing that no one has done. I want to do the thing that when they're telling the story of me, or in LeBron says maybe I'm telling my own story, well, no one else has done this, and the longer that list of thises gets, that's what motivates him because he doesn't need another dollar. The difference between 4 and 5 championships in the grand scheme of things is not terribly differentiating. It'll
never put, for the people that insist on Jordan, it'll never put him past.
Well, it's the O on the back end of it. If LeBron won 7, let's just say that he rips off the next 3 in a row. So yeah, cool. He still lost 5 times.
Right.
It's the 0 that the Jordan. And by the way, Jordan's a perfectly fine answer to all of these questions.
Not looking to have the GOAT debate.
No, nor am I. But I think this is what we're talking about with LeBron right now because here we are, middle of December. The same conversations we've had in other years are the same conversations we're having. Do the Lakers need to make a trade? Do they need to surround LeBron with one more thing so they can make more? Do the Lakers need to trade LeBron? Would they ever trade LeBron? Would LeBron like to be? It is the same thing. And I think the main difference to me as I watch it, as I look at it from the outside, and I don't want to say he doesn't care about winning. I don't want to say that he doesn't want to, but there's this yin and yang, push and pull of what do I want and what am I willing to sacrifice to go get it? And the Lakers are a comfortable place for him to call this a career. Look, the Lakers are not going to win a title this year.
Most likely, no.
The Lakers are not a bad team. They're not one of the top teams. He can continue to stack LeBron's the only person to blank. No one is ever going to say, hey, man, it's probably time for – that's never happening here. It is the perfect place for him to continue to do the sort of things that we've been talking about.
The Lakers, so it's clear. I mean, LeBron has a no-trade clause, so he's the one that has to initiate these conversations where he
had one
traded.
without having a no-trade clause.
Exactly. His no-trade clause to me is a fake no-trade clause because not in a million years would the Lakers ever trade LeBron without his express permission or also just they don't want life without a superstar. Like if LeBron was, when Lawrence Tanner announces his name, if LeBron required a walker, the Lakers would keep him. I mean, they just would. They would keep him forever. And the idea of how much does LeBron care about winning? I think he still cares about winning.
I do too.
But by definition, it's not the number one thing.
Agreed.
Because he's had multiple opportunities to leave.
It's on the list, but it's not at the top of the list.
And by the way, that's fine.
That's okay.
It is fine. He has accomplished a lot through his desire to win. He has 4 championships. He's been to multiple finals. He's been one of the all-time greats. He does not need to prove how much he cares about winning.
No.
But clearly, this situation, it's not I mean, look, Kobe was sickly competitive about winning.
Yep.
If winning were the number one thing for Kobe, he would have ended his career somewhere else where he could have had an opportunity to win as a more supplementary player, even post-Achilles, if he had been interested in being a 5th option or a 6th man.
Yeah.
He didn't want that.
No.
Like, Kobe had no interest in that. And again, fine. Like, Kobe, I think, recognized the value of being a Laker lifer on top of being one of the all-time greats. And you know what? Kobe was right with that calculus. His career looks much different if he closes out his, he closes it out in Oklahoma City as a 6th man, even if he gets that 6th ring.
No.
It feels different.
That's not what got his motor running.
No.
That was not it.
And again, like Allen Iverson never wanted to change. Why? Because he always wanted to be that number one guy.
Yep.
Great.
These are all okay. It's just, it's different for different people, but it's also okay for the Lakers to start planning for life without him.
Never.
LeBron can be okay with the status quo as it is, and it doesn't offend me as a sports fan. It's fine. Whatever. But the Lakers also need to start thinking about life beyond. And I've always struggled with this idea that, well, you cannot possibly hit the detonator and start over. And, well, what are you going to do without a start? The building will be full. The Lakers will be on TV. They might have a bad record for a year or two, but that's sports. And if you can rebuild it on the fly, great. Knock yourself out. If you can do it, more power to you. Super hard to do. And it's not even easy to do it the other way. We saw him try with the Ingrams and the Russells and
Except
the
they
Balls.
didn't really try.
They tried. They didn't try long enough.
Well, they didn't try wholeheartedly. Like
True.
The last couple years that Kobe was on the roster, and that's when you got Julius Randle and you got D'Angelo Russell. Those teams were not really leaning into rebuilding because they felt it was beneath Kobe's stature. Like, it was an insult to him to be rebuilding with him there. So they were chasing inexplicably 8 seeds to try to get into the playoffs for a one and done, and they would fall ass backward in the lottery picks.
Yes.
Then the next 2 years post Kobe, like Kobe retired, that's when they got BI and when they got Lonzo and whatever. But they spent a lot of that time very transparently telegraphing the stars they were chasing. You remember the last half season before they eventually got LeBron, they traded Clarkson and Nance purely to clear the decks to eventually get LeBron. They were never interested in developing BI or Russell or Randall. Lonzo might be the only exception because Magic was clearly enamored by Lonzo. But those guys were always seen as potential trade chips. They were never seen as foundation guys, ever.
They tried to have a foot in both camps, and that didn't. And it feels like that's kind of what it is right now, too. Like, we want to facilitate the end of LeBron's career and give him a team that's good enough to make the playoffs, et cetera, et cetera. But you're going to be right where you are for as long as he's here. You're not jumping to the top. You're never going to sink to the bottom because you have LeBron James and Anthony Davis. You have too good of a team to be the Portland Trailblazers. You're not going to be that. But you're kind of, if you're here, you're here. There is not you can make a trade. Who are they going to get that's going to put them over the top? They can't move these pieces. They're kind of locked into where they are. Trades are harder than ever to make in the NBA. And you're talking about, if you need that third star, which one? Who's coming? Who's going out? You got to make it. It's not just to make it. Okay, I get you want to make a trade. Who's gone? Who comes in? It's wildly difficult to get out of this middle without going down first. That's really the only way out of this.
And the Lakers very steadfastly refuse to do that. Like, they cut off a lot of their options, particularly when it comes to building something sustainable. And that is why, if you're going to go this route where you have fewer options, you can't make a mistake like Russell Westbrook.
No.
Like, I mean, it's a mistake anyway. It's like a mistake under any context.
Yeah.
But if you are just dead set on, we will always try to be in the conversation, even if you're not really in it, but we're always going to present ourselves as in that conversation, you can't miss on something like Russ. Like, as much as Rob Pelinka's made a lot of mistakes, including signing off on the Russ deal, and I imagine wanting the Russ deal.
Sure.
It is kind of a minor miracle that he's managed to reassemble it this well, because pulling yourself out of something like that, think about all the capital that they used to get Russ, all of the capital that they used to get out of the Russ deal, and all of the capital they've spent trying to just get one step further.
They've hit on some guys in the later part of the draft that have helped a great deal, right? The Austin Reeves, like they're pretty good at that. The top end of management has been.
But this
less
is the
good.
irony. I think it's been a little bit more miss lately than hit, but for the most part, I think their track record of identifying young talent is actually pretty good.
Yeah,
and it's the area where they will lean into least.
Yeah, well, the rest of the league seems to agree too, according to a poll of recent NBA folks along the way. Dodgers won the World Series about 2 months ago. Are they already better than they were when they held that trophy? That's coming up next. It's Trav and Andy, 710 ESPN.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland is next after Travis and DeMarco.
A player that flipped to Oregon because he was going to get his own shoe.
Phil Knight said, if you go to Oregon, I'll make you your own shoe.
Yes.
If you were being recruited and Phil Knight called you and goes, hey, Mace, I will make the Air Mace.
Yeah, I would definitely do it for the Air Mace. Because when I get in the air, look out.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason and Ireland.
On 710 ESPN.
Hey guys, it's Cappy. You've heard me talk about my personal situation with my divorce and subsequent custody battle in the past, and I know that you need a team behind you to get the justice you deserve. My friend Mark Reel and his team at Real Fathers Rights are here to help you guys. Visit realfathersrights.com/710. That's REEL. realfathersrights.com/710 or call 323-870-1611. That's 323-870-1611. Real Fathers Rights. The Father's Rights Attorneys.
Hey, it's Mace. You have never experienced anything like Cosm. Trust me, it will blow your mind, and you can experience the Emirates NBA Cup like never before. NBA action in immersive shared reality. Every assist and dunk and buzzer beater comes to life on Cosm's immense 8K plus wraparound display. Use our exclusive discount code ESPNLA. Get 20% off any NBA event in November. Get your tickets now at Cosm.com. That's COSM.com.
Transform your home into a smart sanctuary with Mir Audio Video. For over 40 years, Mir's been the trusted experts in smart home technology as an authorized dealer for Crestron, Control4, Lutron. Don't settle for less. Choose the best with Mir Audio Video. Visit the showroom at 2040 Westwood Boulevard or give them a call, 310-234-4010. You can also check them out online at MirAudioVideo.com. Mir Audio Video, where your smart home dreams come true.
When you're hiring for your business, ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology makes finding qualified candidates for your job easy. This made us wonder, what if the rest of the world was as easy as ZipRecruiter? Math problems wouldn't be so problematic.
K equals 42.
Escape rooms? Elementary. And summiting Everest would be a walk in the park. In the meantime, if you want to make your hiring easier, use ZipRecruiter. And right now, you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Simple. So, see what the world is like when ZipRecruiter does the hard work of hiring for you. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/LA to try ZipRecruiter for free. Once again, that's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Bottom of the ninth, bases loaded, crowd rocking for Rotolo Chevrolet's top hitter, Mike Capozio. He's facing off with the Bulldog, and these two have quite the history. Here's the pitch. Oh, he got all of it. That ball is out of here like a red Corvette, and it's going and going and going.
Yes! Dad, are you having that dream again?
Come see what the fun is all about at Rotolo Chevrolet.
Great game. You got into the end zone again and again. How'd it feel?
Awesome. Like getting a new iPhone again and again. I just got the new iPhone 16 Pro today.
Really?
Yeah, and with AT&T Next Up Anytime, I can upgrade early every year.
Very nice.
Feel like an MVP again. Learn how to get the new iPhone 16 Pro on us and the latest iPhone every year with AT&T Next Up Anytime. AT&T. Connecting changes everything. Offer subject to change. Additional fees, terms, and restrictions apply. $0 offer may not be available on future iPhones. Next Up Anytime feature may be discontinued at any time. See att.com/iPhone for details.
Drivers who switch and save with Progressive could save hundreds, which could be life-changing. I mean, you could put that money towards concert tickets for your daughter to see that singer who sings about painful breakups. And one song will inspire your little beauty to break up with that beast she's dating, Brian. Instead, she'll date someone who's nice and worthy of her love, not someone who addresses you and your spouse as, bro. And it's all because you could save money switching at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates, not available in all states.
And yes, welcome to the Travis and DeMarco Show. Now mornings, 9 a.m. to noon on 710 ESPN. Your destination for LA sports. Let's get back to the fellas. The Travis and DeMarco Show continues right now.
The boss, Andy. Even I know this one. I don't know much, but I do know this one. Bill Belichick is the oldest head coach in college football by 3 years. By 3 years.
They just asked him, like, somebody says, hey, look, I'm the same age as you are. Why at 72 do you choose to come back and coach football? He's like, because it beats working.
Yeah. He doesn't know what else to do. I get it. There's a lot of people that this is my life. This is what I do. By the way, Bill Belichick turns 73 before they'll even conclude spring practice. He turns 73 in April. I know that we keep pushing the timeline back that before 50 was old. 50's not old anymore. 50's like middle-aged, right? 60 is even really not that old anymore. You can't sell me that 73 is not an old person. 73 is unequivocally an old person.
But what if he contours his face?
If he muds up, then maybe like your survivor friend.
I will say, Belichick looks pretty good for 73.
He does.
He does actually look pretty good.
He doesn't look. I get that, and I'm not saying he looks old and decrepit. I'm saying he's a soon to be 73-year-old man who needs to connect with teenagers. That's a tough putt.
And just a job that is 24/7. Like and I'm not going to take this down a political road, but we just had a presidential election where one of the big talking points was how old is too old to be president, and I was very much of the opinion of both of them are too old, like to ideally do this job. I'm not even talking about whether or not they can do it.
Yeah.
I'm talking about ideally.
Yeah.
You would never ask somebody in their late 70s, by the time President-elect
to work
Trump finishes,
80 hours a week?
Right, into his 80s. You would never ask. Same thing with Biden. Biden was already 80. Like, whether or not they can do it, separate question. This is not an ideal job coaching North Carolina football in your 70s.
What's a slow day as a head football coach of a Division I program? Is that a 10-hour day? Probably.
Yeah.
Right? That's probably a lighter day, which means you start at 7 o'clock in the morning and you finish at 5 o'clock in the That's a full blanking day of work.
Old people, though, do sleep less. I mean, like, Bill Belichick is starting to get the age where, like, 4 hours a night,
they
that's a big
sleep
night.
in their bed less, but they sleep at lunch more.
He sleeps through his pudding?
Yeah, they're doing that thing where they're watching the TV at 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and you look over, and their head's back and their mouth's open. They're like, that's sleep, Andy. It might not be sleep in their bed, but they're getting it in.
Yeah, He's going to start his day at 4 a.m. because that's when the olds wake up.
Where is everybody? Layabouts, you gold brickers?
And then by 4 p.m., he's ready to call it quits.
Guys, it's time for dinner, and we're going to wrap it up for the night. Go home and get yourself a good night's sleep.
Got to go get to that buffet.
My uncle used to call, so Get Up, I think, comes on at like 9 a.m. East Coast time. My aunt and uncle in New York City used to call it like, get up. Who's getting up at this time?
People.
On the West Coast, it's 6 a.m.
Yeah.
But also he's like, you're up for 3 hours by that point.
There's a great episode of Seinfeld where Jerry goes to visit his parents at Del Boca Vista, and they're both just knocking around the kitchen. It's 5 o'clock in the morning, and he comes out. He's all bleary-eyed. He's like, it's 5 a.m. And she goes, we know. We let you sleep in.
Yes.
And it's just, it's perfect. It's perfect. So Bill Belichick will be Morty Seinfeld here in Chapel Hill before you know it.
Like, if he does this job just halfway through his contract, he will be 75. Just halfway through the contract.
Yeah. Halfway. That's an important part.
That is 3/4 of a damn century, Travis.
I'm baffled by. I'm super interested, and it may work. I'm curious to see if he's going to kind of be able to find a specific type of kid that wants to play for him, a kid that wants to be in a place to develop. A kid that wants to be in a place that is, all right, I'm okay not playing as a freshman. I want to learn your system. I want to learn football from a football genius, because now it's am I starting? No. Okay, portal. And he's not going to have a ton of time for that.
You know what? Actually, in a lot of ways, he could be an interesting test case for just how much do these college prospects who have NFL aspirations actually consider development even worthwhile.
Yeah.
Like, how much does it matter? Because if guys will stick around for Belichick at North Carolina, then it becomes about, we feel like this guy can still be a pipeline to the NFL through his development.
Mm-hmm.
If folks are transferring in and out just like everyone else, then it starts becoming, it's just about being in the right place at the right time, getting your playing time for that 1 year before you eventually declare.
So we were, obviously the winter meetings in Major League Baseball wrapped up yesterday, and Soto, the biggest name. Snell went before the winter meetings even opened. Max Fried signed with the Yankees. You're saying Willie Adames. The names that we thought you would move. Other than Corbin Burns, he's kind of still out there. He hasn't signed with anybody yet. But I finally saw his name today, and it kind of clicked back into my head. I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right. He's a free Walker Buehler. Like, I don't know, maybe I just missed it. I don't feel like I missed it. I read a lot of that stuff. I listen to a lot of stuff. I had not heard or seen his name anywhere until I finally saw it today. It's a weird deal where somebody that is as important to the Dodgers' recent history as Walker Buehler is, like, we hear way more about Teoscar Hernandez and is he coming or going than Walker Buehler, who got the last out of the game.
Yeah, but Teoscar is an everyday player who succeeded very well, not just in the playoffs last year, but an entire season.
Yeah.
Like, he was an all-star for a season.
Yeah.
If I'm remembering correctly, Teoscar was an all-star the season before.
Yeah.
Walker Buehler spent most of last year either hurt
or bad.
Or bad. Like, I think he started around in some decent form, like maybe September. But he spent most of last year not being seen doing anything at all.
Yeah. He had a bad. Let's go way back. Let's go to the end of the 23 season, and it's like, hey, Walker Buehler might make it back. Hey, he's ahead of schedule. He might make it back. He might be able to pitch towards the end of the season. Didn't come together. Fast forward to the following spring training. Hey, yeah, he's nowhere close. It's like, wait, this is weird. Like, I thought you were saying he was going to pitch 4 months ago. Now you're telling he didn't show up until the season was well underway. Really struggled. And to your point, then they got to the point where Dave Roberts and even Walker Buehler himself were openly talking about that. Yeah, man, I don't know. He goes to the minor leagues. He even leaves the minor leagues and goes to like a private clinic to try to rediscover what it is that he's doing. Clicks. He comes back. He pitches really well. That he's not at the top of the Blake Snell list, I get that. But for the Dodgers specifically, is he coming or going? Because it wasn't just this World Series. He was part of the other 2020 World Series. He's been a really good pitcher for them for a relatively long period of time. And yet it seems like people are comfortable if it's like, yeah, okay, he's on to the next spot. Well, I mean, it's odd to me.
But think about it, though. I mean, they're in the Sasaki business right now.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that is going to...
They have to pretend it's not done yet. Or at least that's what everybody's saying. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like it's kind of true.
But, like, I think both internally but also externally in terms of the way the sport gets covered and people are focusing right now, hot stove and all that, you're going to be more concerned with whether or not the Dodgers are getting Sasaki than whether or not they're keeping Buehler.
Yeah.
I mean, like
maybe I'm taking this personally because I would like to see him back. I would like to see him back because I think he brings a very specific energy to that locker room, clubhouse, the bullpen, wherever he happens to be, because he is the one guy that's a bit of a live wire. Like the Dodgers are pretty buttoned up, very professional, and not that they don't care, but Walker Buehler will tear the dugout to pieces. He will openly pick fights with the opposition. Like he is a live wire guy. I think they need a guy like that.
Well, that's why I think in a lot of ways, again, talking about guys getting more attention, someone like Teoscar is going to be more focused because I think he was a big part of clubhouse energy and like a guy who raises it up. And like I know we had this debate a lot heading into the playoffs and stuff like that. Like I feel like the whole Dodgers are too buttoned down thing is kind of BS. I feel like you are who you are.
Yeah.
Like Dave Roberts, too buttoned down.
Yeah.
This is who he is.
Yeah.
And they've had a lot of success doing it this way. And like, the Padres were the right way to do it until they blew a 2-1 lead to the Dodgers in the postseason. Then it's like those guys need to shut the F up. They talk too much.
I don't disagree that you kind of are who you. Freddie Freeman is never going to be the live wire. Mookie Betts is. But I guess what I'm getting at is it needs to be an organic person to do it. But if you have everybody that is a professional.
But even with Buehler, and you would know this better than me. The one time I can think of Buehler really being that live wire, like I know he's super competitive, I know he's a big game pitcher, but the only time I can think about him being that live wire was against the Padres, correct?
Where he made all his errors.
Where he made all his errors. That wasn't so much about guys, we need to pick up our collective energy. It was, you guys are effing up my thing.
Yeah.
Like I should be having a great game.
I think it was both. I think it was a
but
little
the point
bit
being,
both.
it's the only time I can think of.
His presence is very specific whenever he's around. And even on those days when the Dodgers, in the middle of the season, when he was kind of scuffling, it was you put it this way, you take a wide berth around a guy like that.
In the chat, Jesse Hyman just said, your Angels could use him, Travis.
My Angels could use a lot of things. How dare you, Jesse? How dare you, sir? The Rams and the 49ers tonight. Is it a gotta have it in Week 15? That's coming up next. It's Travis DeMarco, and he's in for DeMarco on 710 ESPN. You got $14.99 a month, right? Here's what you can get for $14.99 a month at NextGen. It is awesome, and it's going to give you an incredible peace of mind. You get complimentary multi-point heating and cooling tune-ups, which means, especially here in Southern California, in LA, heat one day, air conditioning another, back and forth. You're running both of the systems nearly at the same time, it feels like. So why not make sure that it's running at its best? Plumbing and safety inspection, so you can rest comfortably knowing that all the systems in your house are operating the way that they're supposed to. VIP guaranteed 2-hour priority service appointments from NextGen. If you've ever had to call to get your air conditioning fixed, to get your furnace fixed, if you get somebody out there in a few days, good luck with that. How about a couple of hours? That's what NextGen is going to give you for just $14.99 a month. Year-round coverage, no unexpected issues, just total home comfort and the peace of mind that comes along with it. Call 833-3NEXTGEN. That's 833-3-NEXGEN to sign up today and become a NextGen VIP. Visit nextgenairandplumbing.com for more information.
The biggest show on the radio.
Mason and Ireland, weekdays at noon.
I will not drive overseas. I mean,
I do
especially I snapped the axle when I was driving.
How? Tell me the story.
Yeah. So I drove.
he was at the Matterhorn.
Drove away from Gatwick, right? And I'm going north.
Okay.
So I pull into a gas station, and there are these big, gigantic curbs around to sort of guide you through. Drove right over one of them.
You didn't.
Front of the snap, the axle
They're
snapped.
big, gigantic curbs. You didn't see them?
No, I missed them.
How stoned were you?
I was I took the insurance and literally I walked away. There was
you just left the car there.
No, I called them. I said that this car is ruined, and they came and they picked it up, and I never.
Did you get a new one?
Never. No. I said,
like,
can I get another car? They said, we're not going to rent you again.
Steve Mason and John Ireland, next at noon.
Mason and Ireland on 710 ESPN.
Are you ready? Creed. By overwhelming demand, the Summer of '99 tour returns. August 7th at Crisure Arena. With special guests 3 Doors Down. And Mammoth WVH.
Tickets on sale Friday at 10 a.m. at Ticketmaster.com. Creed returns the Summer of '99 tour.
Inspired by Southern California's laid-back yet active lifestyle, Travis Mathew creates premium men's and women's apparel designed to make you look and feel your best no matter the activity. Now, Travis Mathew brings that same style to USC fans with their first ever collegiate collaboration. Designed with the iconic Cardinal and Gold, this collection carries the tradition and legacy of USC. Gear up for game days and style. New customers get 20% off their first order with code 710 at travismathew.com. That's code 710. Offer valid online only.
Get ready, LA. The Art of Sport LA Bowl, hosted by Gronk, is back at SoFi Stadium on December 18th at 6 p.m. Be there as the Mountain West top team goes head-to-head with a former Pac-12 contender in a showdown you won't want to miss. Tickets and premium suites are on sale now. Don't miss out on your chance to be a part of the action. Visit LABowlGame.com to secure your seats today. That's LABowlGame.com.
You never expect a Hail Mary pass to win and end the game or getting into an accident. Hey, it's Travis with DeMarco and Evan Cohen.
Only one all-star defensive team you can call to defend you. The personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000.
Don't get sacked by others. Joseph will help you achieve the maximum compensation you deserve. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000.
Let Joseph and his team score a touchdown for you.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-6759. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-6759. That's 800-575-6759. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
This is the Travis and DeMarco Show.
Now weekdays 9 a.m. to noon on LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
It's not so much about him, Andy, as I needed it to happen to them.
What you're saying is you are okay with him being collateral damage.
If he's the one that has to wear it, then that's the way that's going to be.
Travis, I have some bad news for you.
Oh, no.
I just saw a post, and I don't know if you're going to like it or not. So this is from Discussing Film. A Chitty Chitty Bang Bang reboot is in the works.
Huh.
Who would even star in it?
Do you mean the Dick Van Dyke role?
Yeah. Like, I feel like this is a movie that is so specific to its time that I think redoing it right now would be so weird.
Are you familiar with Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Andy?
I don't think I've seen it since I was a little kid.
Okay, it's so weird. It is like really
Doesn't it involve a train?
A flying car.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang is the car that allows them to travel to these mysterious, magical worlds.
Chitty Chitty Bang Bang.
Yeah.
Chitty Chitty Bang
It's
Bang, we
a
love
musical.
you.
Okay.
It's about children getting abducted off the streets.
Sure.
I remember that one scene on the beach where he goes and he goes into the stall and just changes his clothes.
And he comes out in one of those old timey one-piece bathing suits that go over your shoulders like
and yuck, 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 yuck.
It's weird. It's deeply weird. I'm kind of in. I'm not going to lie.
I think Mike Feist should be in it. He's from Challengers. He was also in West Side Story from Steven Spielberg in 2021. Mike Feist could be the Dick Van Dyke character.
But Dick Van Dyke is the only person in that movie who's not weird. Like he's the straight person. I don't know the person you're talking about.
He could be a straight person.
Okay. Like you need like a person that isn't the woman in it is a toy doll come to life.
And that's a really scary scene because she's just like going like this.
Yeah. They like build her out of parts. It's
just a really long scene too.
The movie's 3.5 hours long. It's
2.5.
surreal. Is it 2.5?
2.5.
Yeah,
feels
it's
like 3.5.
way too long.
I just saw right now. It's an old timey car that looks kind of like a pizza oven.
Yeah.
With wings.
Yeah, well, it's got to fly, Andy. It's not. It's analog flying, not necessarily.
And there's no
jet
seatbelts.
propulsion.
The kids will just fly out the back.
Yeah, it's a
not
bizarre
in the
movie. It is really bizarre.
Let's see what studio wants to attempt that one.
I'm in. I'm just thinking all the movies we used to show my kids. Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. Mary Poppins was in heavy rotation. They remade that. That was fine.
But Mary Poppins, I guess I didn't see the reboot, so I don't know if they did the whole penguin scene, because that's the cool part of Mary Poppins.
The animated part?
Yeah, because it's like the animation looked animated and the people looked real and they're dancing together, and that's cool.
Also Dick Van Dyke.
Yes.
Yeah.
Benny Hill played the toy maker.
Yeah, he did. You know what's funny?
I'm looking at Wikipedia
put
now.
that together, but I've seen that movie, Andy, 25 times. Because the kid would be quiet for 10 minutes when Chitty Chitty Bang Bang would
Benny
come
Hill is like sixth build in this movie.
Tell me what music's going.
Yakety sax.
Yakety sax, indeed. All right, Rams tonight in San Francisco, Santa Clara, taking on the Niners. And I don't know if it's a gotta have it sort of situation where if you lose, you're out, but it puts them in a situation where there is no margin for error moving forward. And the Niners are a tough opponent. They're a division opponent. They're a team that has played you really well. But this is about as ripe for the picking as you could find them, I think, anytime in the last several years.
Look, man, their margin for error is going to be small even if they win this game. It's not like they win this game and they can just breathe a sigh of relief and relax. Like, they're going to have to keep winning anyway. So, yeah, this is... It may not be must win in the most literal, like John Ireland defined sense.
Right.
But from practical terms, like in terms of, do you want to give yourself a reasonable shot at getting into the playoffs without 20 different external things happening? This is must win.
Seattle's next two games are both in Seattle. They're both home games, but they're against Green Bay and Minnesota. Two very good teams.
Right. And if you lose this game, you give Seattle more of an opportunity to drop one of those games.
Yeah. And it does feel there's a scenario where the NFC West gets two teams into the playoffs, but it's a much more specific. Washington has to back up a little bit. This feels inevitable. You can kind of see it now. Seattle could come unglued. The Green Bay, Minnesota, then at Chicago in January. It's going to be cold, and then they got to come here, a tough game. So they could. They have a challenge.
Well, they could come unglued because they're not that good.
Well, that's the thing. I don't think the Rams are either. And I don't mean that in like the Rams. I don't think any of the teams in this division are good enough to stack one win after the next. It still feels like 10 gets it done, and 9, even in a weird scenario when you get into the tiebreakers, might get it done.
I'm looking up right now. These next two games for Seattle, you mentioned they're
Green Bay and Minnesota.
What's interesting, they are both at home.
Mm-hmm.
Seattle's been worse at home than they have been on the road, which is weird because Seattle is typically one of the hardest places to play on the road.
Because they pump that sound in.
Yeah. Well, do they still do that? I thought they were told to knock that off.
I'm just trying to be, a little jabby jab at our divisional opponents.
It's an awesome. By the way, it's a great stadium.
I've never been. I've been to the baseball stadium in Seattle, which I love.
It's a really cool stadium in Seattle.
Is it super loud?
You know what? I have never been there for an actual game.
Oh, okay.
I went there. I take that back. No, I take that back. I was there for a game. Years ago, Brian and I did an ESPN the Magazine assignment where we, as NFL orphans, because the then St. Louis Cardinals moved to Arizona, we did a project where we went to different teams around the leagues. Brian and I went to some of them together, some of them separately, where they would pitch us on why we should be fans of their team. And Seattle was one of the places we were both interested in. Went up there. It was gorgeous, man.
Didn't you land on the Tennessee Titans?
No. I landed on the Niners, which was very short-lived. I realized I was more rooting for like Jerry Rice and Ronnie Lott than the actual team. I'll tell you, the team that came close to getting me back was the Arizona Cardinals.
Oh, really?
Who I've now since rediscovered, and they're kind of my team again.
Okay.
But I was a diehard St. Louis football
You're a
Cardinals.
Jim Hart guy through and through.
Jim Hart, Neil Lomax, Vi
Conrad
Sikahema.
Dobler.
He's a little before my time. But I mean, J.T. Smith, E.J. Jr., Nico Noga. Like, I was...
Chuck Cecil?
Roy Green.
Oh, wow.
I was super into these guys. I was angry when they left. And when I originally picked the Cardinals as one of my teams, my plan was to intentionally not pick them and humiliate them in print. But then I started getting nostalgic. So I started asking people in the organization, like I asked then Coach Ken Wisenhunt and like some lineman, can you get Bill Bidwell to apologize to me? Like, he doesn't even have to mean it, but if he will apologize to me
sorry about that.
For moving the team, I will pick the Cardinals. And like nobody would even ask him.
No,
like, we're not going there.
I don't think Bill was a jokester. Hey, well, do it for the bit, Bill. No, I don't think I will. Thank you.
Bill Bidwell and Chris Morales could not work together.
Nope, not going to happen. Not going to happen. The Dump coming up next. It's Trav and Sandy at 710 ESPN. So I got a little day off tomorrow, so going to jump into the Rotolo Chevrolet High Country Silverado, head on out to the desert. I'm going to have a great weekend, and I'm going to get there in style in the High Country. And if you've been thinking about a Silverado, if you've been thinking about a Chevy car truck, there's no better way to go than Rotolo Chevrolet in Fontana. All the guys that I've met at Rotolo, from Mike Capozio, who you see on TV, my man Eddie Alzade, he's been taking care of me for years. Armando, who plays in our softball game every year, Armando Rojo. Like, these are just great guys that take care of everybody that comes onto the lot. So if you've been thinking about a Chevy, if you've been thinking about a Silverado, you got to go to Rotolo Chevrolet. Right off the 210 freeway, Sierra Avenue exit. You can't miss it. They're going to take incredible care of you from the time you step on the lot to the time you drive away. You're going to know exactly what's going on, transparent, courteous up front, and that's not real typical in the car game, and that's exactly what you're going to get at Rotolo, and that's exactly why they've run Dealer of the Year 13 years in a row. Go see for yourself what all the fun is about at Rotolo Chevrolet. ROTOLO, RotoloChevy.com in Fontana, right off the 210 freeway, and tell them that Travis sent you.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Score a win with Amazon Pickup, the MVP of package pickup options. Amazon Pickup is a convenient and secure way to collect your Amazon packages from locations that are near you. This season, keep your holiday gifts a surprise when you choose to pick up from Amazon Locker or Counter. Whether you're hustling between home, work, or your usual game day spots, grab your packages on your schedule. Amazon Pickup is the worry-free option for the times when home delivery isn't ideal. To find your nearest Amazon Pickup location, go to amazon.com/pickupmvp. That's amazon.com/pickupmvp.
Are you looking for a game day gift this holiday season, Lakers fans? We've got the latest collection of items to add to your closet this holiday season. Head over to LakersStore.com and snag a jersey, tee, hat, and more to rep the purple and gold. We've got the whole family covered with styles for mom, dad, kids, and babies too. Rep the purple and gold in style. Check out LakersStore.com. That's LakersStore.com. Let's go Lake Show.
Steve Mason and John Ireland.
Mason and Ireland today at 1 after Travis and DeMarco.
A player that flipped to Oregon because he was going to get his own shoe.
Phil Knight said, if you go to Oregon, I'll make you your own shoe.
Yes.
If you were being recruited and Phil Knight called you and goes, hey, Mace, I will make the Air Mace.
Yeah, I would definitely do it for the Air Mace. Because when I get in the air, look out.
The OGs of LA Sports Radio. That's Mason and Ireland.
On 710 ESPN.
Adam Schefter here with Vivid Seats. We've got some late-breaking news coming out of the stands. According to multiple sources, Vivid Seats fans are scoring rewards on every purchase and at a rapid pace. Obviously, these rewards are a game changer, and coupled with their MVP-worthy ticket selection, why get tickets anywhere else? Don't drop the ball this season. Shop with Vivid Seats and earn rewards on every ticket. And as the official ticketing partner of ESPN, Vivid Seats is offering you $20 off your first $200 ticket purchase with code Schefter. That's code Schefter.
It's your last chance to snag Dell Technologies' lowest prices of the year before the holidays. The future is on sale today with limited time deals on select PCs like the XPS 16 that accelerate AI with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is their biggest sale of the year and the best time to upgrade, but it's only here for a limited time. Shop now at Dell.com/deals. That's Dell.com/deals.
It's time for everything we haven't gotten to today. Yes, it's time for the dump.
I don't know how I missed this until just now, but we're going to put that aside for a second.
I put it in there.
I know you did. I'm not blaming you. I'm blaming me.
Don't read my rundown.
I do read your rundown, but somehow this one escaped my gaze until this very moment. We'll get to that in 1 second. We're talking about the Rams and the Seahawks schedule. The Kansas City Chiefs play 3 games in 11 days starting this weekend. Here's what the Chiefs got going on. They play at Cleveland this Sunday. They will play the Houston Texans in Kansas City on Saturday, so a short week by a day. And then they got to turn around again and play the Pittsburgh Steelers on Christmas Day, which is a Wednesday. They play 3 NFL games in 11 days. The league cares about their players. Stop it.
The league, for example, made rules that protect the quarterback, but that was just broadly a position. The league in my lifetime has cared about one player, and he now calls games for Fox. That is Tom Brady. That is the only player in my lifetime, because I've been basically a lifetime NFL fan.
Yeah,
there has been precisely one player that they've actually given a damn about whether or not he gets hurt.
Tell me any scenario where having an NFL team play 3 times in 11 days isn't just insanity.
The scenario where you make a bleep ton of money off it?
I get that, but that's my point. This is entirely, we are there. The NFL is a television programming network that has the best TV show going, and we're going to fill every single night we possibly can. And who's the leading man in the television show right now? Patrick Mahomes. So put him in the middle of it.
Look, it helps that guys can rarely catch him anyway. He does not get hit a ton.
Not a bunch.
Not very frequently.
But other people on his team do?
Yeah. But again, they don't care.
They don't care.
Right. I mean, you mean those disposable folks in uniforms that nobody cares about?
Yeah.
And, these are really important games. Obviously, every game is important, but, these are end-of-the-season AFC opponents that are really important for the Chiefs to win these games.
2 playoff teams. Right,
yeah.
The Texans are going to win that division. The Steelers might be the top. They're
going to be in the playoffs.
That could potentially be for a top seed if other stuff starts to go in a weird direction.
It's become very clear though this season the Chiefs don't actually have to be good in order to win games.
Fair point.
I mean they have been winning all season without looking impressive at all.
So they won a game by a toe being out of bounds. They won a game on a blocked field goal at the end. They won a game because the Raiders can't snap the ball correctly and get lined up right. They won a game on a doink that went in, which almost never happens.
I want to say one of the Chargers games was the last second.
That was the doink that went in.
Okay.
Yeah, the Chargers.
No, the first Charger game.
I don't recall, but maybe. I mean that you get one of those a season. Okay, you're going to get one that you pull out of your ear. You get 2, it's like, yeah, this is our year. They've had 4 at least, and you still got 4 games to play. That's crazy.
I mean, they're 12-1,
I know,
and they have a point differential of plus 56, which obviously is not terrible, but it is considerably lower than most of the teams in the league with a good record.
I believe that they have not covered the spread 8 weeks in a row. I think that's don't bet your house on that, but I think that's right.
In the AFC, there are only 2 teams lower than them with a positive differential. One of them is the Texans plus 20. The other is the Bengals somehow plus 2 at 5-8.
Well, they score 50 points a game.
But yeah, there's only one team in the NFL that has, or in the AFC, that has a winning record and a lower point differential than the Chiefs.
All right, there's very few games where it's, like you said, a double-digit lead, and then one of them is like they lost by 9 points to the Bills, too. That's a 2-score game.
Put it this way.
It's rarely a 2-score game.
They have the same point differential, basically, as the Bucs.
Yeah.
Nobody thinks the Buccaneers are that good.
Yeah, it's a weird deal, and if the playoffs started tomorrow and you said, who you picking? Probably them, because they got that guy. It's Jennifer Connelly's birthday, and I'm not mentioning it until right now. How is it? What a terrible job by me.
Happy birthday, Jennifer.
She is a wonderfully talented actress, a beautiful woman. Happy 53 to her. And
54.
54?
According to Wikipedia.
54.
45.
Even better.
Okay, my famous birthdays is wrong.
I like that.
I didn't know that. By the way, Emily, I did not actually realize that you were the one who pointed this out to Travis. I just thought Travis got it wrong. You outed yourself.
I'll get plenty of things wrong. Now I have a problem. I have work tonight. I have a Rams game, pre-half and post.
Okay.
I've got no. This is a real problem. I need to celebrate Jennifer Connelly's birthday in a meaningful way. That means Top Gun Maverick.
Sure.
So I'm going to have a second screen situation going on, and I don't know which goes on the big screen and which goes on the small screen.
Do you have the 4K Blu-ray UHD version
I do
of
not.
Top Gun Maverick?
What I have is an Amazon Prime account, and that's where Top Gun Maverick lives.
What?
Yes. Yes. And I could maybe I'll do this. Maybe I'll strategically watch a few scenes.
She is actually a very good actress.
She's been in
beyond
a lot of
being
good stuff.
Stunningly pretty.
Oh my gosh.
She is actually a very good actress.
Big fan. Happy birthday to Jennifer Connelly. It's also Frank Sinatra's birthday. You a Sinatra guy?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't go out of my way to listen to Sinatra often, but I mean,
it's a specific vibe.
Yeah, it's a vibe. We were recently talking last week when Emily was filling in Mason in Ireland. Last week was the, I think, 24th anniversary of the Ocean's 11 remake.
Okay.
Obviously the original had
Sure.
the whole Rat Pack and stuff like that. It's fun. Sinatra's stories are great.
That's the part of the Frank Sinatra's is fun. I like it. It's not like I'm living and breathing it every single day, but I like the energy of the Rat Pack, the lore of his deal. The fact that I believe this is true, was buried with a bottle of Jack Daniels in his coffin. Like, that man knew how to have a good time. I respect that.
They all did.
Yeah, they knew how to get after a little bit. Happy birthday to the late Bob Barker. Yes, we've killed two people inadvertently this week.
He is no longer with us.
Yeah,
and that is why he no longer has a number next to his name that is probably a wrong number.
So when you think of Bob Barker, other than The Price is Right, is there a specific Price is Right thing you think of?
I always like the yodeler.
Oh, the mountain climber guy.
Yeah. I always like that.
Great game. I think of him hitting that silly putt. Right? When he would always have the contestant hold his little long, skinny microphone, and Bob would go over and tap that putt. He made it. I know how hard it is to make that putt. It's like a 6-foot putt. He made it almost every time. He was awesome.
Happy Gilmore.
Happy Gilmore.
The Price is Right.
The Price is wrong.
Exactly.
Yeah,
exactly.
I also, too, because, Mace will probably feel this way because Mace is also a dog guy, a pet guy. I always think of have your pets spayed and neutered.
Last thing he said before the show ended.
Like, Bob Barker recognized the importance of taking care of animals, making sure the animal population didn't become too high, and that's where you end up with all these shelters with too many dogs and cats.
Have your dogs and cats spayed and neutered.
Yep,
Every
time.
At the end of every show.
Every show.
Yeah.
Every show for years and years and years.
I always associate that
There
with
was also
Bob
that
Barker.
unusual moment where people would reach into his jacket pocket to take out a $100 bill. Like, hey, I got it exactly right. Grab that 100 out of my pocket. How about you just hand it to me, Bob?
Drew Carey's not going to be doing that.
Yeah, how about you just hand that over? Super Crosstalk's coming up next. Trav, Andy, 710 ESPN.
LA's mega sports station.
710 ESPN.
Hey, it's Travis here to tell you again about Prize Picks, right? Prize Picks is so much fun. It takes what we already love, games, sports, right, and makes them even better because Prize Picks is the place to get real money sports action. So why not join over 10 million users and sign up today? Prize Picks always puts its members first, so all withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure. When my picks hit, I can get my money in as quick as 15 minutes. So make your holidays bigger and brighter. You can win up to 200 times your money on Prize Picks. Join now because this holiday season, Prize Picks is giving away 2 free picks in December, and they're giving away $30+ million in rewards during Pickmas. So download the app today, use the code 710, and you're going to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. That's $50 instantly after you place your first $5 lineup with the promo code 710 with Prize Picks. Run your game.
Hey, it's Mace. You have never experienced anything like Cosm. Trust me, it will blow your mind, and you can experience the Emirates NBA Cup like never before. NBA action in immersive shared reality. Every assist and dunk and buzzer beater comes to life on Cosm's immense 8K plus wraparound display. Use our exclusive discount code ESPNLA. Get 20% off any NBA event in November. Get your tickets now at Cosm.com. That's COSM.com.
Choosing the right candidates for any office can be difficult.
My office has lots of drama.
My office has its ups and downs.
I share my office. But no matter what kind of office you have, one thing's for certain. If you're hiring, you need ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter's powerful matching technology finds the most qualified candidates for your roles fast, and you can invite your top choices to apply. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. So, for any kind of office.
I'm really going places in my office.
My office has everything you could ever want.
Count on ZipRecruiter to find the right candidates for it. Try ZipRecruiter for free today at ZipRecruiter.com/LA. That's ZipRecruiter.com/LA. ZipRecruiter.com/LA.
Hey guys, it's Sedano at Los Angeles International Airport. Changes are arriving daily to help reduce traffic, save travelers time, and transform the travel experience. The LAX Economy parking structure is now open with thousands of smart parking spaces, as well as hundreds of EV charging stations. Modernized terminals have biometric gates for faster boarding, and in the future, the People Mover train will connect travelers to LA Metro. For more information, go to their website, flylax.com/transforminglax. That's flylax.com/transforminglax.
ESPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Super Crosstalk presented by In-N-Out Burger. In-N-Out. That's what a hamburger is all about.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
Exactly.
When I heard this,
exactly.
Andy, I just really want to know what your thought process was. And tell Mace what you're.
So we draft on Thursdays.
Snake draft.
Yes. And
I missed this one today.
Today's draft was because it's the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you not want to be on Christmas Eve?
Worst places to be on Christmas Eve.
Worst places to be on Christmas Eve.
Okay.
And
shopping would be the first thing.
Sure,
terrible.
Sure.
Malls came up.
I was thinking a strip club. I think
strip
that's probably
club is deeply depressing.
Yeah, it's really sad. Yeah.
Andy's choices were a Christian rock concert,
which I feel like that's actually something you'd want to.
Not if you don't like Christian rock.
They're going to be singing Christmas songs.
Why
though.
a Christian rock concert?
Because if it was like a Jewish rock concert, I understand.
If it's Van Halen, you're okay.
Yeah.
I think
Slayer.
Exactly.
They're singing dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. You're probably in the wrong spot.
Well, no, but if you're not into Christian rock,
right?
I would feel like they're going to take it even
would it be
more
worse?
Christian rocky on Christmas Eve.
Oh, they'll go.
They're going to turn up,
right? Like
it's going
to be super Christian rocky on Christmas
Eve.
That is
a very weird choice.
I don't think
not even my weirdest.
What's the second?
So
not even my
the
weirdest.
second one I think is very strip club adjacent because it's just because this is a choice to be there and it's not Christmassy at all. It's just kind of like I got to go somewhere. Casino.
Oh yeah, casinos. I think if you're gambling by yourself
on Christmas Eve, that's not good.
I mean, it's kind of sad.
That just means you're that type of person, though. You just
but
the
you have
casino
nowhere
that
else
much.
to me, it screams if I have nowhere else to go.
Yeah,
right.
Exactly.
I
have no one in life.
And to help explain a little bit about
this dealer.
Hit me, Chris Kringle.
Here's a little extra tip for you for being with me on Christmas Eve.
And to help explain my upcoming
what
third
if you order
choice?
Eggnog at the blackjack table on Christmas Eve?
Well, you get
bring me an eggnog.
You get it free as long as you're at the tables. You get all the free eggnog.
Yes, exactly.
So I was thinking like this would make me because normally I love playing Hold'em. I've been to a couple of the station tournaments.
It's fun.
That's normally something that would be fun for me. Being at a casino by myself would make me feel worse about myself.
I agree.
Next one, I was thinking, what would make me feel worse for others?
Okay.
All right. Where'd he go? Trav?
I'm going to let Andy say it. I don't even want to say it.
What is the third place you don't want to be on Christmas Eve?
I chose an orphanage.
An orphanage? What do you mean, like, as if you're a little kid, where would you not want to be?
No,
I
Andy
have some more? That's what he's thinking.
doesn't want to be at an orphanage on Christmas
Would you
Eve.
not, like, bring wrapped
Right, what we said.
Food and presents.
No, the
gifts.
Because I would still feel so bad for those kids.
But you're
in
doing
that
good.
moment.
Everybody would sing Christmas carols. It's like a bright night for
Oh,
It's not a Charles Dickens poem.
In my head, it was.
Yeah.
In my head, it was a Charles.
weird
Like I was
choice.
thinking, Miss Hannigan running the orphanage.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking of.
What were some of the other choices besides Andy's weird ones?
Well, Trav said, what, church?
My first choice was church.
Oh, come on, Midnight Mass. I love Midnight Mass.
I'm happy that you do. I do not.
It's wonderful. I wish they'd start a little bit earlier. Midnight is a little late.
Midnight is too late.
At 10 would be a good time for Midnight Mass.
What other people get from that service,
Yeah.
I do not get the same thing.
I think
I'm just saying.
When they sing "Oh Holy Night" and Midnight Mass, it's actually really cool.
It makes me happy that you're happy to go do that. Just I would not like to attend with you.
9:30. What about 9:30?
How about
midnight?
most people have New Year's Eve off, right?
Yeah.
Or Christmas Eve off. How about 4?
Yeah. Do you ever watch the Pope do his service on Christmas? I always think
love
that's
the Pope.
I love the. I'm fascinated.
You're
by
a
the Pope.
fan of the papacy?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big Francis guy. I was big on JP2, not big on Benedict.
Well, no.
I mean, I know my popes. I know. Remember John Paul I lasted like 10 minutes.
Benedict was the guy that quit, right?
Benedict's
you don't
the guy
get to
that
quit
said,
the papacy.
He said, "I'm moving into the guest house."
Mace,
take it over.
You're in a Pope fantasy draft. You get the number 1 overall pick. Who you take?
JP2. Come on. I'm all about JP2. Even if you go to...
Not the Baptist?
If you go to Rome... No, right. No, if you go to Rome,
pious.
they still have gigantic pictures of JP2 up.
Yeah.
Nobody hung a poster
He's
of
the guy
Benedict.
that came to Dodger Stadium, right?
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Was he in a big bubble?
Yes, he had the Pope Mobile.
Yeah.
He's like the Batman of popes.
Everyone go see Conclave.
Yeah, Conclave, exactly. Very interesting.
I had
ending.
the Linlaws. What do we call them?
The
Linhouse.
The in-house?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
He's trying to say in-laws.
No, I'm not.
Oh.
No.
The in-laws. What do you have
The
against
Linhaws.
Susan's
The
family?
Linhaws.
It's not that exactly.
Well, it sounds like you don't want to see your in-laws, which would be Susan's family.
It's complicated. It's not that. I don't want to be anywhere other than one place on Christmas Day Eve.
Your
I want to
couch.
just. No, it's not even that. Can we just set up camp at one spot? We have moved from A to B to C to sometimes D and E on Christmas.
Like
and
where are these spots?
Multiple families. You got to.
Oh, okay.
It's just there's stuff going on.
Isn't that what you're supposed to do on Christmas
Why can
Eve
they
and
never
Christmas?
come to my house?
Well, did you invite them?
Yes.
That's your problem.
You've
It's your
invited
house.
them and they won't come?
My mom and dad will come.
Well, I mean,
Well,
you
they're
got to
in
go
Santa
see
Barbara.
mom and dad.
I know. No, my mom and
Are
dad
they
are
in
not.
Santa Barbara?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll drive up
My
to Santa
mom,
Barbara.
I am.
And then you get
They
out of
raised
dealing with
you.
the Linhaws.
No.
We're in Santa Barbara.
This is my entire point. I don't.
Where do the in-laws live?
Local.
Oh, see, perfect. You can spend time with the in-laws.
Why don't the Linhaws just come with you to Santa Barbara?
We've offered. It's not it's a non-starter.
Yeah. What else is on the list?
Emily had the Century City parking lot, which I really like.
It is a nightmare. I've lost my car in there multiple times. You forget
It's a
what
maze.
floor you're on, and I
Do you not take a picture anymore?
No.
That's
Mason does not know how to find his car,
They always
period,
say,
in any parking lot.
I never know how to find my car. Dodger Stadium, lost. Yeah, I know everybody says drop a pin. I don't know how to do that.
No. Take a picture of the sign as you walk away from your
But
car.
you know those lots at Dodger Stadium are so big. You can take a picture of the lot, and it's like Lot K, and it goes on for
not
acres.
that big.
Lot K is big.
Well,
I've
he'll
been
say
in
Lot K, and then he'll go to P and B before
Oh,
he
yeah,
goes to
P.
K.
No, P is a good one. That's a small one. See, I like going to the smaller lots and not the bigger lots. Like P is a small lot, L is a small lot, K is a big lot.
Are you that directionally challenged?
What do I say when we go to a game?
I don't know where my car is.
I hope I can find my car after the game. That's I
every,
always say it.
every single
I
time.
worry about it
Your
the entire
phone
game.
will just backtrack. Where you
can
open
actually
up your
go-
maps and it'll say where you
Yeah,
parked
I
your
just have
car.
You can
Never
actually just
figured that
follow it and go. It says parked car.
Never
Right.
figured that out.
Right.
Never
Remember,
figured
we're
that
in the
out.
itchy lot.
Have you guys never What's that mean?
That's a Simpsons reference.
Oh, okay.
And the itchy lot is the size of Los Angeles.
Oh,
It
okay,
is
yeah.
There's
enormous.
one lot
You
that says itchy lot, the other's a scratchy lot.
and they're both, you can't see the end of either lot.
Oh,
They're
got
so
it.
big. It's,
Well, I feel like I have been lost. Okay, so years and years ago,
First one's here.
I forgot my car. I forgot where my car was at the Century City Shopping Center. But I was going to see a movie. Boy, this goes back. It was at the Village Theater in Westwood, and it was to see Forrest Gump.
Oh, wow.
And it was the very first opening night of Forrest Gump. So I forget my car. I don't know where it is. I'm completely lost. So I just catch a cab to the movie theater, leave my car there, figure I'll come back later and get my car. Then I get one of the security guys after the movie to drive me through until I can actually find
Were you hitting the
my
button
car.
to see if it'll chirp
Hit
the
my
whole
button,
time?
Exactly. Oh, it's terrible.
All right, so how you feeling about tonight? How you feeling about the Rams game tonight? I'm apprehensive.
I'm cautiously optimistic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, we should beat them.
We should. That's
beat
why I'm cautious. That's why I'm apprehensive. That they've played 13 games. They've been really good twice. The other 11 are a mixed bag of bad to you got a little lucky.
So do you think they're better, worse, or equal to what their record is?
I think they're exactly what their record is. I think they're a little tiny bit better than average.
I think they're better than the record is. Because if you go back to those first 5 games, I think had they been healthy, offensive line, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp, they wouldn't have lost 4 of their first 5 games.
So there's a couple guys that are or questionable on the offensive line, right? Like Bo Limmer or Eric Jackson.
Yeah, Bo
both
Limmer and
questionable.
Jackson. I don't know the story on them.
Yeah.
If they're both out, that's a problem. Then it's a loss.
Normally,
if they're both playing,
but normally
yeah,
questionable
usually,
means you're
going to play.
Usually.
They had their best game of the season last Sunday against Buffalo,
Yep.
and they did it in large part without any tight ends. And I think that matters a great deal for tonight because you saw them play with, never mind just Puka and Kupp, who are incredibly important in what they do, Demarcus Robinson. They were able to get Tutu on the field with those other guys.
Yeah, they went with full wide receiver
Four
sets.
wide
Yeah,
receivers
4
and no
wide.
tight ends. And if you can get favorable matchups on those other guys, you're going to cover Kupp or Nacua first. You're going to cover whoever you didn't cover first, second.
Yep.
One of those other 2 guys can get a really favorable matchup.
And Stafford clearly loves DeMarcus Deep.
Yep, he does. And Tutu caught the ball that kind of iced that drive, or the 4th down play that led to the icing
the 4th
touchdown.
and 5, I think.
I think that if they can block it without tight ends again, I think they're in really good shape. If they have offensive line problems, though, good luck.
I think a big key in this game for the Rams is going to be get a lead early. Because the vibes with the Niners lately have been so bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you get up on them early, you get them to give up.
The Rams do play a lot better from ahead.
They do, and the 49ers with no Trent Williams, that's going to be very, very difficult for them.
Jared Verse may go nuts.
Nuts. So if they can't get, because I think Garendo is playing tonight, so if Isaac Garendo goes off, then you're going to.
But even he's their third
But
string guy.
Really he was still great. He was great last week.
Yeah,
absolutely great. I
He's
picked
a
him up for
fine
fantasy.
player.
He's
totally fine.
He's the third string guy.
Line. It's the offensive line for both teams. Whoever wins that battle is who's going to win the game.
Really quick, I want to get your thoughts on this because I'm still trying to work my way through what I think of this. All I know is that I'm deeply interested in it.
Okay.
Bill Belichick is a college football coach.
I think it's going to work.
You do?
Yeah, I do. I love what he said about this being, he wants to make it a professional program at the collegiate level with things like health tracking and all the stuff that they do, nutrition, etc. And I think if you're a recruit and you're like, I'm not getting into Alabama, I'm not getting into Georgia, but you know what? I can go play for Bill Belichick. And he says, I'm going to get you to the NFL.
Are there enough of those guys?
And by the way,
that's my question.
And the other thing is the ACC is not the
It's
toughest
not great,
conference in the world.
But the way that college football is structured now, it's I play right away or I leave. Like what I think Bill Belichick is better at than everybody else is building culture, fundamentals, and all that. That takes time. And so many of the guys that play college football now, they're on 3 or 4 different college football teams,
true.
and they move along. The second they don't get what they want, they leave. Can he find enough guys who are willing to sign up for a 4-year commitment? I don't know.
Well, the one thing Belichick, though, for as much as he was always in control with the Patriots and power struggles and whatever, he's actually been pretty flexible in the way he runs his teams. Like, in terms of what they schematically,
yes.
like what they do on the, like that's something Popovich has always been really good at. For all the talk about Pop's power with the Spurs and whatever, he's very flexible in terms of what he does on the court. I think Belichick has been that way on the field.
But isn't he a guy that's like a hard ass with all of his players? And that I just don't see that working in the college
NFL players
game.
bristled under that kind of stuff.
They hated it. It worked for the time, but it was workmanlike when you were with the Patriots. I don't think that works in college.
You're not going to play here for 2 years. Sign up.
What it does tell me is that the NFL was not interested.
Recruit?
The NFL was not interested in Bill Belichick.
I completely agree with you.
They felt it out. They talked to the potential openings, and they got no.
And he doesn't have time to wait. He's 72.
And the guy he wants to coach.
Yeah.
He's at UNC to get his kid a job.
He looked around the NFL landscape, or to your point, kicked some tires in some places, behind the scenes, and realized, I'm not going to get another job here.
Yeah.
Like, it's going to be a second cycle, and I'm not going to get another job. I got to go. If I want to coach, I'm going to have to go do it in college. North Carolina's just a weird place to do
had it been me, I would have said, I'm 72. I've got the McAfee show. I've got the Manning cast. I've got the pregame. All that stuff. Why not just enjoy that?
Because he's a football coach.
You've got a co-ed as your girlfriend,
right, she's
and
like
a bunch of easy TV gigs. Come on.
It's the same reason that Sean McVay to the TV booth doesn't scare me as much as it does other people. He's a football coach. There's no scoreboard in the booth. There's no scoreboard on the Manning cast. Those guys want to win football games.
By the way, the other thing with Belichick is a bigger dating pool at North Carolina.
I've been to the campus at North Carolina.
Yeah.
He's going to have a good time.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he's going to have a good time.
Wouldn't you want Pete Carroll over Bill Belichick in this situation? Like, wouldn't you call Pete Carroll at USC ahead of Bill Belichick?
Pete Carroll,
that makes more sense to me.
Pete Carroll's a college football coach. He's
Right.
an NFL coach too, but he's successful.
He'll go out and he'll recruit. He'll do all the things that Bill Belichick is not going to want to do.
And he's charismatic.
Right.
And he's personable.
He's a player's coach.
Come on,
People want to play for him.
Chapel Bill.
You can't
You
spell,
just want the name.
You can't spell Belichick without chicks.
Oh, there you go.
Both true. Super Crosstalk's brought to you by In-N-Out. Mace, that's what a hamburger's all about.
That is what it's all about.
The most followed sports radio station in America.
710 ESPN.
At ESPN Los Angeles on Instagram.